It was 2 weeks ago today that we were standing in front of you here at pregame in the press box with a lot of question marks. Very uncertain what was going to be happening for the Dreadnaughts remainder of the season. But with a little help from a Blue Devil and a sound defeat over a Red Devil, the Lakeland High School Dreadnaughts enter their second season, so to speak, as district champions. So welcome everyone officially to the Agnini Family Dental pregame show and the FHSAA High School Football First Round Playoffs, Jeff Goddard. And so what turns out to be a beautiful Friday night under the lights here, Friday the 13th edition at Bryant Stadium. The Dreadnaughts against Sickles, Tampa team, come in for their first round of the playoffs. Exciting stuff, Jeff. Good game a couple weeks ago, too.
Absolutely, and unlike last game, as you said, with the uncertainty, tonight there's a lot of certainty. We're district champions. We're hosting the Sickles Gryphons, and if you're not sure what a Gryphon is, it's a dragon.
Nice.
So hopefully tonight Lakeland is going to train the dragons.
Okay.
But anyways, and the other certainty is we know that Kathleen is playing at Tampa Plant, and whoever wins this game tonight will play next week against either Plant or Kathleen. So a much simpler dynamic than we had 2 weeks ago with all those myriad of possibilities.
Yeah, and of course, ended up being a great scenario, the best possible outcome for the Dreadnaughts. And again, with that district title, just to kind of cap off the regular season. We, of course, had 2 losses, which is the same as the Sickle team here tonight. We're also coming in 8-2, and I guess a loss against Armwood and Plant for their 2 losses on this season.
Which, no shame on that. Armwood is the #1 team in the state in 6A, and of course Plant's a perennial power, so no shame on their record. But let me share a stat with you, one of the most amazing stats I've heard all year. The Sickles defense has pitched 7 shutouts this season.
Wow.
That's amazing.
That's
and
amazing.
So probably the best defense we've seen all year.
You know, when Lakeland has a couple of those shutouts, we all cheer and realize what an incredible accomplishment that is. But to have 7 shutouts, that means the defense is something fierce, and the Lakeland offense is going to have to find a way to put points on the board. And
we'll certainly break Sickles down.
We can talk a little bit more about that.
Their offense and defense in the second segment of the Agnini Dental pregame show tonight.
Absolutely. But it's worth mentioning a couple weeks ago because it was a game that, of course, Kathleen comes in here undefeated on the regular season. And as Jeff said, that was just one of the other question marks is how Lakeland will respond. And in one of the most complete games, Jeff Goddard, that I've seen Lakeland put together, particularly coming out strong, you know, sometimes it takes us maybe into that third quarter to get revved up. That first quarter, I had a hard time finding any mistakes. It was just a complete game on all sides, all facets for the Lakeland Dreadnaught football team.
No doubt about it, Tim. Lakeland came out super focused and disciplined against Kathleen 2 weeks ago. Probably the most efficient and crisp performance of the entire season. And obviously, we had the 2 big pass plays in the first quarter from Holden Hotchkiss to James Robinson. That got us up to an early 14-0 lead. And then early in the second quarter, Torian Hampton blocked a punt and recovered it for a touchdown. At that point, it's for all practical purposes, the game was over at 21-0. And, of course, the game played out. And the final score is 35-13 in favor of the Dreadnaughts, and Kathleen scoring their second touchdown on the very last play of the game. So for the whole fourth quarter, we had a 28-point lead.
Yeah, for us, it's great when we have a hard time picking the players of the game when there's so many that contribute. And we're talking about offensive lines and defensive lines actually getting either honorable mentions or players of the game. So just an incredible performance. It was one of those that's fun to watch, Jeff. It really is when a team's clicking like that. And, you know, you'd hope that would happen and expect that as we now enter the second season, the playoffs. Jeff, we're looking for that same kind of hopefully dynamic coming out strong, not sitting back and maybe waiting. So I think that we're looking for a good fast start tonight as well.
Yeah, I think we might have to be a little more patient tonight. This could be a defensive struggle with how good Sickles is. And obviously their offense, I mean, it's good, but it's clearly the defense is their strong unit. Whereas with Lakeland, we're pretty balanced, but you might say our offense is maybe our strong unit. So I have a feeling you could see more of a lower scoring, more of a heavyweight fight, kind of an offensive struggle. And so if that's the case, then you're going to have to be patient tonight, and we just can't, you know, commit too many turnovers.
And you mentioned Kathleen playing Plant. And again, a bit surprising how we did dominate Kathleen. We thought their offense was going to be kind of much more potent, but we don't know if that's to speak to the great game our defensive front had, or if they just maybe had one of those off games for them.
Well, speaking back to the Kathleen game, let's take a look at some stats now, Tim. As you see there, the 2-headed rushing attack led by, of course, A.J. Davis, over 100 yards again on 22 carries and a touchdown. And then for the first time all year, we're highlighting Xavier Allen, who had his best game of the season. 16 carries, 85 yards, actually averaging more per carry than AJ. So great job by both running backs last week against the Red Devils. And then, of course, as we already kind of talked a little bit about, we had a dynamic duo in the receiving corps last week. James Robinson, big play James, 4 catches, 132 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And then Tariq Young had a 97-yard touchdown catch in the third quarter, which has got to be, if not the, one of the longest touchdown catches in Lakeland football history, and one of his 2 catches for the night. So big play potential in both of our wide receivers. We saw it come to fruition 2 weeks ago. Hopefully we'll see that again tonight. And then speaking of the Dreadnought defense, it's actually interesting. If you look at the stats, not a dominant performance.
They had
by
some
the
big
Dreadnought
yards on
defense.
offense.
As a matter of fact, it was your classic bend but don't break defense. We only gave up 13 points, but we allowed 357 yards, which is even quite a bit. But the impressive thing was, like we said, they only had 7 points until the last play of the game, which is spectacular. And yet, even on top of that, you would say, okay, wait a second. If we gave up 357 yards and only 13 points, we probably forced, 2 or 3 turnovers. We actually only forced 1 turnover. But it was a hard-hitting defense. We actually forced 3 fumbles. Only we covered 1 of them. But if you remember, one of the other fumbles we forced went out of bounds, and it kept them from getting a first down.
That's right.
But I think one thing that also helped the Dreadnought defense limit them to so few points was because we were playing with a lead, then Kathleen had to go for it, And yeah, they got some yards, but we were able to kind of, clog down, so to speak, or clamp up when they got in the red zone. A couple of times we turned them over on downs down in the red zone.
His name escapes me right now, but the one receiver they had, I think he counted
Zimmerman,
Zimmerman.
Zimmerman.
Number 11, I think, or something. He counted
number
for 1. That's right, at 1. He counted for more than, I think, a third of all other yards.
He had like 7 or 8 catches for 165 yards.
And so we, like you said, maybe loosened up a little bit and enabled them to have a lot of those yards after the catch that we talked about. And he did that well. But still, points on the board is what you try to defend against, and we were able to hold them.
Of course, another thing that's a little deceiving about the 357 yards, only 13 points, if you remember, they had that long pass play right before half, and we tackled them inside the 10-yard line.
That's a good point.
So all those yards went for naught.
All of us with jaws open, thinking, come on, get him, and finally caught up with them. I think he ran out of gas, too, which helped a little bit. He was pretty tired. But that was an exciting play. A lot of big plays, as Jeff said. Boy, just in that first quarter alone, our guys, number 3 and number 4, just having a field day running up and down the field. And the quarterback Hotchkiss getting it to him. Something about that arm, that Holden, just really giving his receivers an opportunity in that man-to-man coverage.
Well, going back to last year when we first saw Holden get some action when Aaron Johnson was out, the one thing we noticed right away was he throws a great deep ball. That's probably the throw that he does the best. And you saw that last week, 3 long touchdown passes, or 2 weeks ago against Kathleen. So I would not be surprised tonight if we see that again, see Coach Castle take some shots downfield, because with their tough defense, I doubt we're going to have a lot of prolonged drives. So if we can get some big plays in the passing game, that could help out a lot.
Yeah, I think so as well, too. Well, good. Now, the great part was we celebrated that win against Kathleen, but now it's a new day, obviously entering the playoffs. It's no second chances here. It's not like if we lose, we maybe have a scenario where we can still keep going.
There's no 3-way tiebreakers Monday night.
You lose and you're out of there. So they talked about, obviously, Sickle a little bit in the Booster Club, and that's what we'll do in our second segment in the Agnini Family Dental Countdown to Kickoff. So with that, let's take a brief timeout. We'll come back and highlight the weather for you and some updates on injuries, and then talk about this game tonight. Stay with us.
Agnini Family Dental truly is a family of doctors. We strive to give our patients a patient-first dental experience. Our goal at Agnini Family Dental is to provide our patients with the highest level of comprehensive dental care and prevention. Every member of our team promises to put the needs and concerns of every patient first in every aspect of their dental care. Our family of doctors take a tooth-conservative approach to restorative dentistry with a special focus on sedation dentistry, implant dentistry, and orthodontics. Call to schedule your appointment today and let our family of doctors change the way you look at dentistry.
Welcome back to Bryant Stadium and this Friday the 13th, Under the Lights, live edition here in the webcast. Thanks for joining us. Our friends at Agnini Family Dental have been with us all year. Tremendous sponsors.
Both second year in a row.
Second year in a row, so we can't tell them how much we appreciate them. And Jeff, I know you have some personal experience with them as well.
Well, they are my dentists, and they truly are a family of dentists. Dad, Michael, and then his 2 sons, Matt and Drew.
You got them.
That's right. 3 dentists, and they have 2 offices, one at near Southgate Publix and then one out by Tigertown. And just great offices, great people. And his daughter, Ashley, is a hygienist. And it's just wonderful people. They take great care of you. It doesn't matter what your dental needs are. They can take care of you, whether it's just getting your teeth cleaned, getting a cavity filled, braces, teeth implants, just you name it, they can take care of you. And so if you live here in the Polk County area and you're looking for a new dentist, a better dentist, or maybe you don't have a dentist at all, I encourage you, call the fine folks at Agnini Family Dental. You will not be disappointed. 682-1500, and tell them Jeff and Tim from the Lakeland Football Webcast sent you, and they'll take great care of you and all your dental needs.
As you can hear the band cranking up in the background. As we go along through this second season, Jeff, everyone knows that one of the keys is to stay healthy. And depending on, every team has injuries and every team has to shift different players around. We've had our challenges this year, but it's going to be interesting to get that report from Emily to see how strong we are on what also appears to be a nice fall evening, maybe a little humid still for what's coming on mid-November. But let's go ahead and get it down to Emily right now. Emily, what do you got for us?
Hey guys, down here on the field, it's about 73 degrees, a little darker than usual, obviously. Fortunately, we have no new injury reports, and that can be partially attributed to this bye week, giving time for the boys to heal up before this big game tonight. So back up to you guys, then go Dreadnaughts.
Thanks, Emily. As she said, that bye week can be pretty important, coming at a good time for the Knots. There's little nagging injuries and those body aches. Just giving that extra week when you're a young person sometimes can make all the difference. You can get completely heated up. So it's good to hear no new injuries there.
And obviously we do have a few guys that are out for the season, but other than that, we're as healthy right now as we've been since the beginning of the year. And I really like this concept of playing Kathleen, which is our last game of the year, 2 weeks before the playoffs start. So we use our bye week going into the playoffs. I mean, a lot of schools, only make the playoffs every once in a while, but if you're a perennial power like Lakeland, you make the playoffs almost every year. Why not save your bye week for going to the playoffs? And it's kind of like you're the Patriots. You have the best record every year in the AFC, and you always get a bye the first round of the NFL playoffs. It's kind of a similar scenario. You get healthy, get your legs back, and as you said, let those nagging injuries heal up.
We'll try to keep everyone apprised of the Kathleen Plant game. As we get any scores there, we'll try to bring it to you. And, of course, feel free to tweet us during the game. We've really enjoyed that aspect of the webcast this year. You see us right there. Follow us on Twitter at LHS Dreadnaughts. It's a great way for you to stay real-time in communication with us. And we love giving shout-outs to people around the country and around the globe that are watching us here in the first round of the playoffs. So continue to do that. And
let's go ahead and
let's start
dive
breaking
into
it down.
Sickles.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Sickle here coming into Bryant Stadium tonight, 8-2. We mentioned right there Sickles Senior High School, the principal, Jake Russell. Their colors, forest green and gray. Their mascot is, Jeff said, a little bit different. So we got, this might be one of the most unique games in the country with the Gryphons and the Dreadnaughts going after each other tonight. Class 7A, of course, our class, and the head coach, Brian Turner.
My stepdaughter Sarah she would probably actually be rooting for the Gryphons tonight because she loves dragons.
Jeff said how to train your dragon would be a good theme for tonight. So
I'm sure Coach Castle has that written on the whiteboard in the locker room.
Yeah, and so I know we're getting ready right now to present the colors and listen to the national anthem. Let's take it down to the field right now. The Lakeland High School Dreadnought Marching Band, one of the finest bands in the land, getting recognition with all superior ratings at the recent competition, so they do a fine job. Jeff, I know as we were talking, you wanted to mention something that happened around the globe today. That's some sad news.
Well, just our thoughts and prayers are with people over in Paris, as there was a terrorist attack there just in the last few hours. Apparently terrorist gunmen opened fire at multiple locations in central Paris, and apparently bombing off at the stadium where there's a soccer match going on between France and Germany. And the terrorists also went in and were holding over 100 people hostage at a rock concert in a theater. And apparently the security forces in France invaded or broke in, and apparently the people are free now. The hostages are free, and they killed 2 suspects or 2 of the terrorists in that process. There just are many dozens of people have been unfortunately killed in these attacks. So our thoughts and prayers are with the people over in Paris right now.
Very just sorry to hear that, as we again continue to break down an Agnini Family Dental countdown to kickoff. The upcoming opponent, the band hitting anchors away, which it was Veterans also Day this week, and we got to celebrate all our veterans. And of course, that's the Anchors Away is the Navy song that is most associated with that branch of the armed forces.
Let's take this moment to wish a happy Veterans Day to all of our veterans out there in the audience tonight. Thank you for serving our country so well.
Yeah, absolutely. And so now we enter this game, the first game of the playoffs. As we said briefly, we're going to be tested here because one of the biggest challenges on defense, 7 shutouts, incredible. And what do we need to do, Jeff?
Well, the Sickles Gryphons have a dynamic defense. I mean, I've never heard of that, 7 shutouts in a year. That's an amazing stat. And they're really led by their front 7. They have a defensive end, a linebacker hybrid named Cameron Miller, who in the words of Coach Harbin is a stud. He's number 33. We're gonna have our hands full with him tonight. The middle linebacker, Jake Hampton, number 44, is also very, very strong in the middle. So very strong front 7. It's going to be a tough game tonight. Be interesting to see how well A.J. Davis can get the running game cranked up tonight. But as I was saying earlier, look for Holden Hotchkiss. A lot of pressure being him tonight. He's going to probably have to maybe get some big plays in the passing game because it's going to be hard for us to have a lot of prolonged drives against this tough, fire-breathing Griffin defense.
Yeah, and that defense, again, is something that, we started off quick last week, and I think that was a huge advantage for us. Who knows what the game could have been like if Kathleen jumped out early. So it's going to be interesting to see if we come out with that same kind of fire in the first quarter on both sides of the ball. And I think we're going to need to do that.
But also I'll say with how strong their defense is, it would certainly help the Dreadnaughts a lot tonight if we can get a score either from the defense or special teams. As we've gotten a few scores from special teams this year, that could certainly be a big factor in tonight's game if we can, if not a score, at least get a couple big plays by our defense or special teams.
It's good observation, Jeff. We've had a few blocked punts and that kind of thing, but I don't know if I remember a pick 6 this year, a true pick 6. That'd be nice to see something with our defensive back coming up with a big play. And, of course, they are going to be airing it out tonight, so we'll have plenty of opportunities to jump in front of the ball.
And let's take a look at the impact players for Sickles now on their offense. Their quarterback, number 1, Chris Oladikan, who Coach Harbin told me is definitely the best athlete on their team and probably the best quarterback we've seen all year. And that's saying something. Yeah. We've seen some pretty good quarterbacks, including the Kathleen quarterback. And don't forget the Carroll City quarterback who threw the ball over the yard against us. And he's, by the way, a USF commit, so Division I talent.
Good for USF.
Yeah, Division I talent there. And then their top running back, Brandon Brooks. Now, I will say their quarterback, Chris Oladikan, is a dual threat, so he's definitely involved in the running game too, along with passing. And then Brandon Brooks is their top running back. And then Jake Hudson, number 24, over 1,000 yards receiving and averages 22 yards per reception, like 8 touchdowns. So he's having a big year for them. And they're very balanced on offense. They average 158 yards passing and 152 yards rushing. So balanced offense. We're going to have our hands full on defense tonight with number 1 in company.
As you see, Oladikan, too. We heard earlier they were prepping at the Booster Club and showing some film of them. And our players actually got to watch their team play, and they saw a lot of no huddle. They saw really Oladikan taking control, of the field, making even change-ups in the middle, when they're getting ready to line up. So he's a real field general with a lot of experience. And, of course, USF sounds like they recognize that, too, and want to capitalize. So it'll be interesting to see how our defensive backs are going to be tested tonight. So.
And then also let's go ahead and take a look at the impact players for Lakeland tonight.
Names we're familiar with.
Yeah, of course. A.J. Davis, our bell cow, so to speak. He's going to get his 20 carries a game. A lot of it really depends on how well he does. And I really, as it always does, but probably especially tonight against such a tough defense, is how well the offensive line blocks and opens up holes for A.J. And then off his strong performance last week, and he's really been rounding into shape after missing the first 2 games in the year. Big play, James Robinson. As we said, we're going to probably need some big plays tonight to score points. So I look for him to hopefully have a big game. And then Holden Hotchkiss. And one reason why he's so important, Tim, is tonight's going to be one of those games that we can't afford turnovers. Against such a tough defense, we're going to need him to be crisp and to be efficient and to be spot on tonight.
It's time for our star players to really shine, as we get into the playoffs. A lot of other teams obviously aren't around anymore, Jeff, and we probably picked up a few viewers, so welcome if this is the first time you're joining us here on the webcast watching Lakeland High School in the playoffs. And a great contest for you, the first one out of the gate. And Davis has just been a pleasure to watch. He's had a couple off games, but for the most part been consistent. And, we didn't have Xavier Allen up there, but I was really impressed with Xavier last week, as you mentioned, in those yards he picked up. But he had a little extra fire in his belly that may not have been there before.
A very strong performance by Xavier last week. And getting back to A.J. Davis, for the year he's rushed for almost 1,200 yards, averaging nearly 7 yards per carry.
Wow.
I think it's like 10 or 11 touchdowns. So just a phenomenal junior season and really very steady and consistent. It's not like he's had a couple of 300-yard games and then a couple has only had like 50. I mean, very, very solid. Always averaging, usually between 100 and 130 yards per game.
Notice his vision kind of even seems like it's getting better on the field the last couple of games. He's making some cuts that, you see a player come from the side and he's about to hit him and he makes a sidestep move, and it's a kind of sick. How did he see that guy? So he's got great vision.
As you just saw the Lakeland captains walking out to the field for the upcoming coin toss.
Yeah, and
let's go to defense now.
Yeah, let's go ahead and look at the defensive players, the Lakeland Impact players on defense. Number 83.
So let's start up front.
Matt Kramer,
who is a Division I prospect himself. And with a lot of kind being a dual threat quarterback for the Gryphons, he's going to, have to get some pressure on him rushing the quarterback, but also he's going to have to keep containment because, he'll scramble around, and if they don't keep containment, he'll get outside and pick up some first downs and some yardage running. So he's going to have to be careful on how he goes after the quarterback. And then Denquarius Long, who's had a phenomenal year.
Unbelievable,
He's great against the run and against the pass. And if a lot of can starts to scramble, Long is going to have to keep an eye on him, not let him get any big plays. And then Torian Hampton, who had the big play on special teams last week, has also had a very good year this year from a strong safety position. And he's going to have to help us in run stoppage tonight. But also, once again, if a lot of con gets loose, he's going to have to help bring him down. But also, he's going to have to be strong against the passing game and be ready to bring down those receivers after they catch the ball, not let short passes become big plays.
Jeff, let's go ahead and look at the keys to victory tonight. You sum up so well.
All right, number one, excellent offensive line play. Dominant defensive front by Sickles, so we're going to have to block well up front and open up the holes. I'm sure Coach Farkas has the unit ready. They're going to have to be on point tonight, Tim. And then number two, don't let Alada can be a bull tonight, okay?
Yes, a bull dragon.
Yes, he's going to USF, but he's going to get his yards. He's going to make some plays, but we can't let him be a bull in the proverbial china shop tonight. We have to contain him and keep him under control. And then number three, limit penalties and win the turnover battle. And in a game that's probably going to be lower scoring than normal against such a good defense, every turnover is crucial. And we can't have penalties. We can't let a 3rd and 3 become a 3rd and 8. That's going to be a lot harder to convert against this Gryphon defense, And we can't get called for unsportsmanlike conduct and have 1st and 25s. So we have to be disciplined tonight, stay focused. And it looks like the Gryphons won the toss and decline, I believe.
Lakeland will be receiving in the north end zone to start this one off, so we'll have the ball first on offense tonight.
Very nice. And once again, just a crisp, error-free performance is what the Dreadnaughts would need tonight. And if we do that and take care of everything else, we should be advancing on, and we'll play either Plant or Kathleen next week. And as you see tonight, tonight's game is being brought to you by Regal of Lakeland, which is very nice, and they really stepped up, and they're one of our, as here come the Dreadnaughts.
Kind of been a tradition the last few games. They've sauntered out together a few yards and then run out as a team, and we are very happy that Regal's decided to be our sponsor because we've seen the commercials from them throughout the year, but we asked, hey, who's going to step up, and they right away stepped up and said, we'll be that game sponsor for the playoffs.
Yeah, obviously, they've been one of our bigger sponsors, for the last several years, but with having to pay a fee to the state to broadcast these playoff games, as you said, Regal stepped right up and was willing to do that for us, and we were very appreciative of that. And you'll see actually a new commercial from them tonight in tonight's broadcast. And I'm pleased to be joined by Sal Campisi, part of the family that owns Regal, tonight for my halftime interview.
Very exciting. Good stuff. As you can see, the Knots in some very cool looking, I love those black pants. Those are my favorite pants with the, of course, camo kind of smoky charcoal jerseys and the traditional helmet that never changes. That big L on the helmet is consistent.
It looks like we made the right call going with our black shirts tonight, Tim.
We're right on task tonight. And again, a beautiful fall evening. We said the Friday the 13th edition, as we are fortunate to be here at Bryant Stadium in the playoffs, clinching, of course, that district, allowed us to be back with you here at home, which is always exciting for us. A little crowd coming tonight to cheer on Sickles over from Tampa. Dreadnaughts looking out. Pretty nice crowd. And we're going to go ahead and rip through as we turned around to get ready the starting lineups tonight. Let's take a quick peek. On offense, Jake Flath, Robert Hardy, Seth Roy, Ian Hernandez, and rounding out number 51, George Madden. Xavier Allen, of course, the running back, the fullback. Holden Hotchkiss, the quarterback. A.J. Davis, the fine junior running back. James Robinson, number 4. 3, Tariq Young, both of them having some incredible games last week. And Quantavius Isaac, maybe Quantavius will come through this week with his own big play. We are ready to go here at Bryant Stadium. Hand in the air. We are underway. High in the night sky. Good kick end over end, driven back to the 1-yard line. The receiver takes it out to the 10, 15, gets spun around and knocked down right there. Good play on special teams, now allowing him many yards. Let's go ahead and do the starting lineup on defense, Jeff.
Jaquan Lawrence and Matt Kramer at defensive end, Avery Edward and Marquise Green at tackle. Linebackers, Aquarius Longs, Kelvin Broom, and Jaquarius Smith. And the secondary, cornerbacks, Alante Taylor and Damari Mathis. Strong safety, Torian Hampton, and free safety, Chad Berrien.
So obviously we misspoke a little bit. The Griffins won the coin toss, but they decided to take the ball first. They wanted to come out swinging, so to speak, and try to get some points up on the board first here at Bryant Stadium.
We stand corrected.
Yeah, so they will head to the north end zone. Alatikin set up, handoff, first run of the night by their star number 5. It's Kelvin Clemens, actually, who breaks out, and Clemens, a foot race down to the 20 and gets pushed out of bounds at around the 11 or 12. That's not the start our defense wanted, with an incredible run by Kelvin Clemens. He's actually not even Brandon Brooks. He was the other guy.
Perhaps we had the wrong guy highlighted.
Ooh, man. Kelvin looked like he had some size on him, too.
I think that was Torian Hampton who made the tackle. I couldn't quite tell all the way up in the press box, but it did seem like that was Torian Hampton who brought him down the 11-yard line. First and 10 for the Griffins.
You had Torian Hampton at his size, then you got a 6'3" Kelvin Clemens running back sauntering down the field here to get things kicked off. I can see maybe why they wanted the handoff. There's a bad snap exchange to Clemens again, and allows the Dreadnaughts to break the plane and hit him in the backfield for a 2-yard loss.
So perhaps we're beginning to see another bend but don't break defensive effort from the Dreadnaughts tonight. That's a good start on that second play. Now, as you said, it'd be second and 10 still. They say he got back to the 11-yard line.
Gave him back to the line of scrimmage. Ball at the 11-yard line. Second down. They can still pick up the first down inside the 2. Just underway here at Bryant Stadium. The Sickles Gryphons winning the coin toss and taking the opportunity to accept the first offensive possession. Alatikin throws it out to Clemens, who's getting all the work, has plenty of room. He's going to dive at the goal line and just be a half-yard shy. Helmet-to-helmet contact there around the 1.
So that's going to probably be good for a first down. So it looks like the Griffins are going to have first and goal from inside the 1-yard line.
So Clemens getting all the work here on this first series on the ground and in the air.
We got a message on Twitter from apparently someone, I guess, who calls Gryphons games on the radio, helping us with the pronunciation of the quarterback. It's Chris Oladukin. Oladukin. A little surprising that the Gryphons call a timeout when it's 1st and goal inside the 1 yard line. We're going to take a short commercial break and be right back with you.
The new 2016s are in, and the 15s have got to go. It's our fall kickoff event at Regal Kia, serving this community for over 39 years. Sold, drive today for $119 a month. Optima discounts up to $12,500. Come in, test drive, and get a Florida lottery ticket, a chance to win the $10,000 bowl game trip, or a new Kia. Score big with us. It's the fall kickoff event at Regal Kia, serving Lakeland since 1976.
Sal says yes, you pay less.
So we'll try to get it closer. Oladukin is the quarterback. And he's done a good job on this opening series, marching his team down, of course, on the back of Kelvin Clemens. 6'3" senior. So he's a load. You're going to split number 28 out wide. He's actually not even on the roster. Number 25 also in the backfield, Anthony Quintana, who gets the call. Hit in the backfield, then swarmed over. It'll be 2nd down at the 1 yard line. Good defensive pop there.
He actually lost him a yard or so on that play. Good penetration there by the defensive line of the Dreadnaughts. Going by that first play from scrimmage, the long run play by Kelvin Clemens. Looked like the Dreadnought linebackers were not in their gaps. Got to have gap integrity and forcing them out of position, and Clemens made them pay.
Oladukin brings them up. He'll be in the shotgun formation. Number 25, single set back. 14-28 split out wide. That's Carl, I think, Bonneau. Long snap count, and there will be a whistle on the play, maybe taking a hair too long.
This last play or so here is not going the way the Gryphons had envisioned. They had 1st and goal inside the 1 yard line. They called a timeout. Lost about a yard and then delayed the game penalty. So now it's 2nd and goal from the 7 yard line. We'd love to see a field goal attempt at this point.
Yeah, I was going to say, hard to say this early. It's a big defensive stand, but in the playoffs, they all no second chances, as we said. Oladukin. Rolls out right side, looking, getting pressure. He stumbles. Now he's running backwards. He's on the chase, and he's going to throw this one almost out of bounds, but he gave his receiver a chance.
Flag on the play near the line of scrimmage.
Well, that'd be a shame if that was pass interference with us.
No, I don't think it's going to be pass interference. I think it was probably offsides or
yeah, there you go.
Start.
So again, going the wrong direction, the Gryphons.
Tough call here. Do you accept the penalty for the Dreadnaughts, or do you decline it and have 3rd and goal for the 7? Be interesting to see what Coach Castle decided here.
They're talking it over.
He takes it. Yes, it'll be a replay of 2nd down. Now it's 2nd and goal from the 12-yard line. Want to give a quick shout out to Coach Farkas's parents who are watching the game up in Richmond, Virginia. Hope you enjoy the game tonight, Mr. and Mrs. Farkas.
Interesting call, right? If you believe in your defense, you take the penalty yards, or you're looking at a 3rd and 7.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
That's not gaining much either way, really. It's just.
I probably would have been more
I
inclined
know.
to decline it,
that's what I was thinking initially, but
that's a 50-50 proposition if you ask me.
Pushing it back a few yards. 2nd down and 12. Fake to Clemens. Pass and flag. Pass interference on number 14 as they just got tangled up and tripped over each other, but unfortunately,
so
they're all over the intended
the
receiver.
Party there. Unfortunately, as Carl Bino is the intended receiver for the Gryphons. That's a worst case scenario for Lakeland. Now they're going to have, I think that's an automatic first down. Let's see.
Still second down.
Second, okay.
But they're going to move it.
I think it should be half the distance to the goal. So
Up to the
second and goal from the 6. This is
now
the
we
longest series of plays from first and goal at the half-yard line
we
I've
had
ever
them,
seen.
We had them 3rd and 7. Now we're back to second and only 6 yards as they're getting multiple opportunities. Oladukin set 3 yards deep. Number 6 in the backfield. That's Brandon Brooks. Fakes looking now, getting pressure, scrambling. He has the ability to run, gets to the 5-yard line and brought down there. So now 3rd down and goal to go at the 5.
Great job there, but Lakeland staying
Good
in pursuit
coverage.
of him.
Yeah.
Good coverage. They didn't have anybody to throw the ball to, but then also multiple guys came at him, and although they made the first guy miss, able to get him down after just about a 1-yard gain. So here's the money play right here, Tim Conti. 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line.
So all that running around and penalties and declining them, and we're back almost to the same spot we were on a 3rd and 5. We had them a 3rd and 7. Let's see what the defense can come up with here. Oladukin, shotgun, rolls out. He's going to run. Now he stops, pulls up, trying to find a seam, and he's not going to do it. Stopped at the 5-yard line. A little bit indecisive. Not sure if that was a designed run play or he was going to pass and just the receiver was covered.
He was brought down by 2 of the guys we highlighted tonight as the impact players to the Dreadnought defense. Defensive end Matt Kramer and linebacker then Aquarius Longs getting the job done as the Lakeland defense stiffens in the red zone. And they're now forcing a field goal attempt by number 13.
Dylan O'Connor.
Of the Gryphons.
13 on the 13th, Friday the 13th. Let's see if O'Connor can tack on the first points here at Bryant Stadium tonight. First offensive possession off the right side. It's going to be good, but barely.
There might be is there a flag on the play? No, I guess not, okay. So the field goal is good, and the Gryphons take a early 3-0 lead.
Snuck it in there by the hair of his chinny chin chin.
If you're Lakeland, I think you're more than happy with the outcome of that, as they had 1st and goal from the half-yard line. They end up having to kick a 22-yard field goal. Give a lot of credit to the Lakeland front. Well, the whole defense, as you said, the secondary did a good job of coverage, but also great job by their front 7 of harassing and pursuing Chris Oladukin and keeping him from getting out and really scrambling.
Well, the stats for the Gryphons look pretty good, especially on the ground for that opening possession. It was capped off by the 65 or so yard run by Clemens. And again, we were kind of highlighting Brandon Brooks, but Clemens predominantly was the go-to guy on that series.
Brooks is more of the physical running back, north-south. You know, he's going to get the tough yards, where Clemens is the home run threat.
So the Dreadnought offense is going to try to answer something here, Jeff, and see if we can't drive down the field on our own. We'll be going.
But great job by the Dreadnought.
Fantastic
defensive
job.
line containing Oladukin there on that first series.
High kick. Going to be caught at the 22-yard line. A nice cutback by Davis. Davis is over the middle, off to the left side. Davis out in the run.
One guy to beat.
There he goes. A.J. Davis, touchdown. That's the way to answer. A.J. patiently picking his way through the special teams coverage, broke free at about the midfield mark, and then just sailed, breaking free away from Carter Mulrow, who had no shot. He was the kicker.
A.J. Davis taking it 75 yards for the kickoff return touchdown. You know, normally A.J. does his damage, Tim, on offense from the running back position, but tonight making his presence known in special teams. Not the guy we expect. We think Torian Hampton or maybe James Robinson are special teams, or Tariq Young, I should say. But tonight, A.J. Davis saying, I'm not just a running back, I can also get it done as a kick returner.
Well, the short kick really enabled A.J. Davis to get kind of a running start on the ball. He already had good field position and then just split everybody up the middle of the field. And there was no chance for the kicker to catch up with him. He said, are you kidding me? You're going to make me tackle this guy? I can't catch.
He would have never lived that down from his Dreadnought teammates if the kicker would have brought him down. But what really did it for him, besides the great blocking, let's give credit to his teammates. They created a nice hole right in the middle, was that first cutback. Right when he caught the ball, he started to his right, cutback towards his left and went right up the middle. Great cutback by AJ and great job of blocking by his Dreadnought teammates on special teams.
Good spatial awareness, we would say, from AJ Davis, the return man, who tacks on a quick 6 points and then followed up by the extra point. 7-3 in a hurry. Dreadnought offense still not gotten a snap on the field, but we'll take those all night long.
I want to give a quick shout out to my wife Lori, who's home in Valrico watching the game tonight. Hope you enjoy it. And also a shout out to Nashville, Tennessee, and Kavi Saxena. Says nothing better than some playoff football from Nashville.
Mackenzie McDonald getting some action, and the ball goes into the end zone, touchback out to the 20-yard line.
You know, Tim, that's an amazing turn of events. It looks like Lakeland's going to be down 7-0, and a few minutes later, Lakeland's up 7-3. So, nice job by the Dreadnaughts. Good start here in the first quarter.
You take a snapshot, like you said, first and goal at the 1-yard line, and say what's the score going to be in about a minute or two, and you wouldn't have guessed Dreadnaughts would be leading.
The only possible down point about such a quick touchdown there is it barely gave Coach Baldini a chance to talk to his troops and get that gap issue corrected that allowed the long run on the first play of scrimmage from the Gryphons tonight.
Not much rest for the defense as they go back out on the field. That's the only maybe downfall, is they got to now face Oladukin and the tough offense. Nice handoff straight up the middle, gets tripped up in the backfield. Well, someone had incredible penetration early and got enough of them to get them falling forward. And Kelvin Broom eventually made the tackle, but I think that was number 9 who got in the backfield early on.
Landon May,
who made the initial contact.
Matt Kramer, I think, was involved in the tackle, assisting Kelvin Broom. I see Holden Hotchkiss playing catch down on the field with Willie Baker, our injured wide receiver, as Holden's probably trying to get warmed up again, not thinking he didn't have to go this long before he got to enter the game.
Spreading the field out this time. Single set back. Man comes in motion, number 14. In the inside, they're stacking it 3 wide to the left. Setting up a screen pass, number 28. Tries to get some room, but defended well. Maybe they missed it. He got it, at least a good part of the helmet. I don't know if it was a face mask, but helmet-assisted tackle there. Not much on the gain.
Number 12, junior defensive back, Shedrick Flournoy made the tackle for the Dreadnaughts after the catch by...
Number 28's not on the roster.
28 is not on the roster.
But it'll bring up a 3rd down and 5, a long
Mystery
5.
player for the Gryphons.
He's in the starting lineup, though, and number 14, again, Carl Bonneau is out to the right side. Oladukin, 4 yards deep. Quick pass over the middle. Blocked, knocked down. That's a great heads-up play by the interior and Kelvin Broom.
Number 8, Anthony Montevo, the tight end for the Gryphons, was wide open in the middle of the field. Would have gotten the first down for sure, and maybe quite a bit more if that ball had not been batted down. Great job by the Dreadnought defensive line.
3 and out. Looks a little different than the first series we just saw, where the
other than that one play, the Dreadnought defense has looked great tonight, so they settled down after that first play from scrimmage.
just they found a seam and exploited it, but they only were able to capitalize with 3 points. The Dreadnaughts will get the ball back with an opportunity to return one. Now Tariq Young potentially standing at the 36-yard line. Let's see what Dylan O'Connor, who's the kicker. Low snap. Had to do the come up on that one. Yeah, good idea there. Tariq was about to.
Tariq get away from the ball.
Yeah, he's.
So what looked like it was going to be a nightmare for the Gryphons actually ended up being an ugly but very effective punt as the ball rolls all the way down to the 31-yard line.
Low snap, terrible kick.
31-yard line.
But end over end. And boy, you know, that's one of those things
like
that.
A 44-yard punt.
Yeah, Tariq should have almost like an infielder, Jeff. I think a baseball should have just charged that ball when he saw that it was coming on the ground. You run right at it and try to get it that first bouncer. So he could have been picking up 5-10 yards because it was so quick. No one was even there. He could have at least just caught the ball at the 45 or 50, but kind of let it go. And it's one of those things. Let's go ahead and take a quick timeout with 5:54 remaining. Dreadnaughts lead 7-3. Stay with us.
It's our tailgate clearance at Regal Lakeland, Central Florida's largest used car dealer. Go to RegalLakeland.com to see all our vehicles, all at wholesale prices. Over 500 vehicles, all makes, including our pre-auction units. 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty on all Regal certified vehicles. If you just want to sell your car, we're the #1 Kelly Blue Book dealer. Credit specialist on site for any situation. All confidential. Only at the 2 locations of Regal Lakeland, your family store.
Back to Bill Castle Field, Bryant Stadium, just in time to see the Lakeland offense snap the ball, handoff, Davis. Davis with a nice little run, picking up about 6 yards on first down. First snap on offense comes at the 5:50 mark because, remember, we did return Davis returning the ball for the special teams touchdown.
You know what's ironic about that? On that kickoff return, I'll go, the Gryphons kind of did like a pooch kick, if you will, or lob kick, because they didn't want, Tariq Young or James Robinson to return it. And it lands in Davis's hands around the 25-yard line, and he takes it 75 yards to the house.
Marquise Green checks in. Robinson and Young out to the far side to hand off Davis. Davis runs into a stiff line, maybe half yard on the play. One of the best defenses, as we said, that the Dreadnaughts faced this year, pitching 7 shutouts during their regular season, although they did lose 2 games. They're to some perennial powers, Plant and Armwood. One of those a non-district game. Davis temporarily checking out. Tariq Young and Robinson also coming out of the ball game on a 3rd down. So interesting lineup here is looks like Coach Castle's going to call a timeout. Just a little confusion there on the offensive side of the ball. And Coach Castle wants to talk to his offense. It's kind of a long 3rd down to bring in that power package, but obviously Coach Castle, a master on offense, watching film and coming up with a game plan to hopefully best move the ball against this tough defense. 4:29 in the first quarter still remaining. An exciting, action-packed first quarter. Hope you're nestled in on your lazy boy or your choice of lounging apparatus here on the first round of the playoffs for the Knots. Davis checks back in. So now the more traditional package with split receivers, Robinson and Young. Fake fullback, roll out, nice pass, wide open, number 1, Branson has it, good block at the 40, running down the field now into the 30-yard line. Number 1, Branson Brown coming for the tight end with a nice, fine-looking play by your quarterback on the play action.
Great play action, great throw by Hotchkiss, and by far the biggest play of the year for Branson Brown, who's started filling very nicely for the injured Sean Gill.
Go to church with Branson's family, and yeah, they're excited. I'm sure Mom saw her earlier coming in. She's probably cheering. Good looking play. Nice open field running there. Gets a chance to actually run after the catch too. Stays in the ball game. Davis. Nice tackle, number 8. Didn't let Davis go. It's hard to bring him down man to man, but Anthony Montalvo stuck with Davis and brought him down for a 1-yard loss. 2nd down and 11.
So far, the Griffin defense looks tough against a run.
Just a beautiful play call by Coach Castle on that play action, executed well by Hotchkiss and Branson Brown.
If their offensive line can give Hotchkiss time tonight, I think he's going to be able to have some success passing the ball against this Griffin defense.
Davis split out with Tariq Young, looking to that side, fires it, and caught. Nice catch over the top by Robinson, who had to kind of extend his arms high. It's not a big gainer because they stopped him right there at the 25, but still
about
some
6 or
positive
7
yards. Yeah.
Make it 3rd and manageable. And after Branson Brown got quite a bit of yak a while ago, that time the Griffin defenders did a good job of getting Robinson corralled as soon as he made the catch. Another accurate throw by Hotchkiss as he appears to be on tonight.
Quintavious Isaac checks out of the ball game. Young goes out far left.
This is probably 4-down territory here for the Dreadnaughts. I don't think they'll be kicking a field goal from here, and definitely too close to punt.
Robinson kind of mismatched over here. He's much taller than the defender, too. We'll see if they can exploit that. They are man-to-man coverage. Nice stop. Robinson, beautiful play. Boy, what a fine delivered ball by Hotchkiss. Just go down. They're going to try to strip him. A little bit of a late throw down there, but they
almost looked like after he caught the ball and he was flying for yards, like he started the bobble of the football, but fortunately he was able to hold on to it.
You mentioned, Jeff, we've been talking about the tough defense, but what you're noticing early on is they are sound tacklers. They stay right in front of you and they wrap up. They do not let the runner or receiver go once they got a hand on them.
That's probably a big key to their success this year, and having pitched 7 shutouts is there appear to be a fundamentally sound defense.
Xavier Allen and fullback, tight formation, receivers right side, Robinson and Young. They're going to hand off to Xavier Allen, who breaks through the tackle. Allen skipping at the 3-yard line. Skip to Malou, my darling. Touchdown, Allen.
Great job by the Dreadnought offensive line that time, opening up a big hole for the big fullback, Xavier Allen, who showed a little bit of nimbleness on that play as well, and takes it in from the 15-yard line. Hits pay dirt, does Xavier Allen. Dreadnoughts now with a double-digit lead, 13-3, and an extra point upcoming.
Hey, he's got some big ankles, and he was able to kick those away from a couple defenders. We just said that they don't let people go, but there's a flag on the extra point. Allen again coming out with that same fire he had 2 weeks ago. Just not wanting to be brought down.
Against Lakeland, so we'll have to re-kick that ball. The thing is, you have to, if you're opposing defense, you have to pay so much attention to A.J. Davis, the talented tailback, that a lot of times those quick hitters with Xavier Allen work well, as long as the offensive line opens up an early hole there, and they did that on that touchdown run.
13-3, a long extra point. Boy, that one's just misses to the right side.
Wide right. I actually thought it snuck in, but they said it was wide right.
Just missed off the right side. He had plenty of leg on it. He just got great foot to ball contact. Just went a hair right on. 13-3 will be your score here. 2:16 remaining in the first quarter. Action-packed start to this opening round playoff game. So we've seen a special teams touchdown and a nice drive, really highlighted by that tight end pass to Branson Brown, who really, I think, kept the momentum going. Look at that. That's pretty cool.
If you guys are on Twitter, check out the Dreadnought Twitter feed right now. You'll see a picture that was taken from Sky Spot Advertising from up above Bryant Stadium tonight. It's just a gorgeous picture of Bryant Stadium and a lot of the lights and accompanying downtown Lakeland. Just a beautiful picture there. Check it out at LHS Dreadnaughts.
Mackenzie McDonald active early on in this game. We like when he's active. That means good things. Boy, look at that. That's one of the better kickoffs we've seen. Slight wind at his back, but that was, I feel some adrenaline in that leg. Wow. I say wow because, Jeff, to go ahead and tell them what update we got. An unusual score to the Kathleen Plant game.
Kathleen is up early against Plant 2-0.
Safety. Interesting. Tight one.
Just got a text from my good friend Steve Reed out in Denver, Colorado. Says, touchdown Knots. We love watching Lakeland football live. Of course, he's the uncle to George and Robert Madden.
Two receivers near side. Number 28, the no-name guy on the roster, goes in motion, gets ahead of steam. Quarterback, men covered, now has to run. He's got the ability to do it, that dual threat. Decides to cut it upfield, loses the ball, and Knott's almost had it. Ball still, and they got it at the 40-yard line. That ball was a hot potato, squeezing through people's legs, stayed in bounds, and the Knott's recovered at the 40-yard line. Jeff, you said win that turnover battle.
Alante Taylor, the cornerback, recovered the fumble after Jaquan Lawrence had a chance to get it and couldn't quite corral it. It squirted loose from him, but Alante Taylor got the job done and recovered the fumble. First turnover of the game. Lakeland has it and is in business. First and 10 at the Griffin 40-yard line.
2 minutes left to work with in the first quarter. Very interesting decision by Oladukin there. He was about to run out of bounds, Jeff, and decided to cut back to the middle of the field.
Which was a good move. It was open.
It looked like he had a lane, so he said, why not pick up an extra 5 or 10 yards.
That was really the first time all night he got loose on the Dreadnought defense, but we made him pay as we stripped him.
And Davis with a nice step move at the line. Davis out to the 30, 25, still on his feet. What a fantastic run to that sideline by Davis.
Great job there by A.J. Davis following his block and bouncing it outside. I think it was James Robinson there who was doing a good job blocking on the perimeter. Also got a text from our good friend Keith DeLoach, former Dreadnought alum and football player. Says, great start for the Knots.
One of the better looking 15-yard runs you're ever going to see right there by Davis. Takes us just outside the red zone. I formation, strong, nice pass by Hotchkiss over to the 20, broken tackle. There goes Tariq Young at the 5. Tariq Young fighting, tries to throw his arm over to the pylon to try to get in.
That scares me.
Yeah,
look, you have plenty of time. It's going to be first and goal inside the 2 or 3. Don't risk having the ball, be rolling the end zone, be a touchback. It's just unnecessary. But fortunately, it went out of bounds, so Lakeland retains possession. And in fact, it's first and goal at the 2-yard line. And for the first time tonight, actually the second time tonight on offense, we are in the mid-state red zone.
Mid-state?
The Mid-State Machine and Fabricating Corporation red zone.
Hopefully we're not in it very long. Hopefully we're in the paint zone as Xavier Allen gets the call and gets the points.
For the second time tonight, Xavier Allen takes it into the south end zone here at Bryant Stadium. And Lakeland now has a commanding 19-3 lead with 1:20 still to go in the first quarter.
What a weapon to have, especially in those situations. It's funny. Allen was running off right there with Marquise Green, number 52, and they have the same body type. So how about if you're a defender trying to get Xavier Allen down right now? He seems to be growing in strength as the season goes along. This time the extra point is good. And so now with 1:20, what a first quarter. Dreadnoughts lead 20-3. We'll take a brief timeout and be right back with you here at Bryant Stadium.
In my profession, we meet a lot of people who are going through a lot of losses and harms, and people who have lost loved ones, lost children, losing their house, losing their car, and it really wears on you sometimes. But I can tell you that it also drives you. It really pushes you to want to protect them. When we help clients, we can't always fix all their problems, but we do our very best to help them through their problems.
Just got some feedback. Tim Conti on Twitter says, that ball was a hot potato. LOL. Nice job, fellas. That was from Marcos Garcia. I feel like, is Ron White doing the broadcast tonight?
It's good stuff. The not seemingly now at the 1-yard line, they're going to say he didn't step back in, and the Dreadnought special team is going to wrap him right up there outside the 15. Jeff,
picking up
kind of right where we left off against Kathleen. Really firing on all cylinders right now.
Absolutely. And let's go back for a second. Obviously, the Griffins have had basically one good play the whole, the first quarter,
right.
That long run, the first play from scrimmage. But a couple plays later, they found themselves first and goal from the half-yard line. And maybe the play that really turned this game around early here in the first quarter was that delay of game penalty, backed them up to the 6-yard line.
Interesting, yeah.
I mean, if they don't get that penalty, maybe they punch it in. Maybe they go up 7-0. Then who knows what happens on the kickoff. So it's amazing how games can turn on anything. In this case, that fateful delay of game penalty if you're a Griffin fan.
Still in the first quarter. Oladukin hands off left side. Nothing there. Number 25 gets sat on in a hurry. Anthony Quintana, no room to go anywhere.
Jaquarius Smith making the tackle from his linebacker position, number 20.
Yeah, I don't want to do any speculate because I don't know what their game plan is, Jeff, but we have not seen Brandon Brooks do anything. And he was one of their keys to the game.
He's doing north-south run. Of course, when you're down by 17, you're going to probably have to try to get some big plays.
Yeah, but even with right there, they handed off to a much smaller Anthony Quintana, who's a 5'10 junior.
He could be injured. We have not received word that maybe he's injured.
Oladukin drops back, man-to-man. He's going deep. Good coverage there, looking back, and nearly picked off. What a good play on defense by number 12. That was a fantastic play.
He was with the receiver, number 18. Well, actually, once again, we don't have 18 in the roster, but with the Griffin receiver step for step. Great coverage by Flournoy, and as you said, almost and probably should have had the interception.
Could have easily been picked off by Fournay, who he could not be blanketing the receiver any better on that play.
I'm not exactly sure the quality of competition the Griffins have played this year, but through one quarter, the Dreadnought defense looks like the unit that pitched 7 shutouts this year, not the Griffin defense.
Kelvin Clemens and number 18 go out wide for the Griffins. Oladukin spreading the field, sending number 14 in motion in the inside. Handoff, number 28, reverse, but the ball hits the ground again, and he's just going to have to cover it up. Clemens, I'm not sure if that was going to be a halfback pass or reverse, because there was a receiver that was the sole receiver
number
streaking.
14, Carl Barnell.
Well, we had good coverage regardless. If that was going to play, I don't think it would have worked, because number 31, Chad Berrien, was all over it.
The final seconds are going to tick away on this first quarter, Tim Conti, and it was a great first quarter for the Lakeland Dreadnaughts, as Lakeland is leading 20-3 as we will head to the second quarter. And the first play of the second quarter would be a Griffin punt, as the Dreadnaughts will get the ball back once again. We'll take a commercial break and be back with you in just a few moments.
County High School juniors and seniors. Submit your A's and B's to Bartow Ford for your chance to win a new Mustang. Visit DriveForExcellence.com for official rules. The 23rd annual Drive for Excellence with Bartow Ford. We're different and we prove it.
Back here at Bryant Stadium, we'd like to thank Chef McCarr and the LHS Culinary Arts Program. How about that? They actually whipped up the eats tonight, and they were the press box sponsors, so they had all this fancy, they had the traditional ham sandwiches, but they had the cookies, they had some teriyaki chicken wings, and they had some fancy stuff that they really put some thought and work into. So we'd like to thank Chef McGar again and the LHS Culinary Arts Program for providing us the food for the press box
When we were at Lakeland High School and the cooking going on was in the home economics class. Now they have a full-fledged culinary arts program, which is awesome.
Took it up a few notches.
Too Young back at the Dreadnought 40-yard line awaiting this punt as the Sickles punter. It looks like number, is that 11 or 17?
I think it's O'Connor. No, it's...
Can't quite make out the jersey number. 13 maybe?
Yeah, it's still Dylan O'Connor.
Yeah, Dylan O'Connor.
Dylan
punts him inside his 5-yard line. That's a nice punt that time.
He had some pressure by Quintavious Isaac. One-hander by Tariq Young.
Don't block in the back.
Take a step
Good job.
back and turns and falls down.
Dreadnaughts will take over at their own 29-yard line.
Nice punt by O'Connor. End result for him. It's like a 58-yard punt. Not bad.
Yeah, that was an excellent punt. Kind of was went in an angle too, made it harder for him to catch. An angled punt. Once again, we want to thank Regal Lakeland for sponsoring tonight's playoff game. As you see the logo there up on the score graphic. Big shout out to them, and thanks for helping us bring this game to you. If you're in the Lakeland area and you need a new car, we encourage you to go check out Regal Lakeland and support them, as they are big supporters of Dreadnought football. Of course, they have 2 locations. They're out by Tigertown and also just right next to Lakeland High School on the Bartow Highway. There's A.J. Davis with another big run.
Nice cut to the outside, and then a block by Robinson to spring him at the 40. Picking his way down to the 30. Gets hit out of bounds finally at the 26-yard line. Oh, boy, what patience.
A.J. Davis has come to play tonight. He's really shown you the whole package tonight. The ability to bounce outside, the vision, the cutbacks, just a brilliant run there by the talented junior.
Stuck his hand out and shook Robinson's hand and said, man, thank you for that block. I saw you there on the sideline.
Robinson's had a couple good blocks tonight here early in the game.
Great job of true teamwork.
That was a 46-yard run there by A.J. Davis.
Robinson and Young go out. Naughts on the move again in the second quarter early on. Hotchkiss with some confidence. Hand off Allen, who also has some confidence. Bowls his way about 5-6 yards.
The human bowling ball, Xavier Allen, running over linebackers in a stadium near you.
Good grief. The baby bus right there.
I got a feeling.
I won't call him the short bus because that might be demeaning.
Yeah, I have a feeling if they're announcing the score of this game over at Plant tonight, there's some people going, oh, really?
Uh-oh.
Wow.
Lakeland's coming on at the end of the season. Hotchkiss, nice fake. Caught Robinson, who's got some blockers.
Oh,
that's
that's
to be
a
a block
block
in the back, but yeah, there it goes. Robinson's going to reverse field and have lots of room and block
Might
it to the
even
other
score
side.
this play, but it's coming back.
Yeah.
He's going to get tackled anyways around the 9-yard line. I think Ray Charles could have made that call. That was clearly a block on the back there against the Dreadnaughts. Really anticipated this being a tightly contested, kind of lower scoring game, but the Dreadnaughts have come out clicking on all cylinders tonight.
He got all the back there, too. It wasn't just like a partial side swipe. He got the whole southern side.
Going to be 2nd and long now for the Dreadnaughts. Second and 12 as the ball is placed in the 28-yard line.
Dreadnoughts moving it in big chunks, though, so with the way the defense is playing, we're probably already in that 4-down territory. Allen and Davis, quite the combination here as Davis gets the call again. That's a nice stout play by their defense, who's had some big holes blown in it tonight.
That's the middle linebacker we talked about earlier tonight, number 44, Jake Hampton. Did a great job of getting penetration and bringing down A.J. Davis for a 1-yard loss, something you don't see very often. So now it's 3rd and 13. And once again, we might be in 4-down territory here as we're at the Griffin 29-yard line.
Well, the play calling has been superb tonight.
Good mixture of run and pass.
Yeah, I mean, we've been stopped a few times at the middle, but by and large, we've really worked the sidelines and again, those quick pass plays. Tariq Young has plenty of room to run. Dances the sidelines. Look at Tariq Young tightrope it down to the 3.
Inside the 5-yard line. I think they're going to say he's out of bounds at around the 4.5 or 4-yard line. Great job. And you called it, Tim. Tightrope down the sidelines. I thought he was going to go out of bounds around the 15, but did a great job showing his speed and getting inside the 5-yard line. Well, once again, we were in the mid-state fabricating red zone.
Tiptoeing through the tulips. He just was dancing on the tippy toes. And Hotchkiss is just delivering the ball beautifully tonight.
Getting out quickly and accurately where they can catch it and run with it.
I mean, right where it needs to be almost every time for the receivers to make the utmost is Allen again. He's not going to be denied. Are you kidding me? Xavier Allen with another touchdown.
The Dreadnaughts are clearly training the Dragons tonight, Tim.
They are.
The Dreadnaughts have had
whooping them.
Nary a hiccup even tonight.
That was good for those of you how to train your Dragon fans. That was impressive.
The Griffins are proving to be toothless tonight also.
Oh, no. Look at you go. Kapow! We've heard the cannon.
My stepdaughter would be so proud of me tonight. I'm working at all
impressive.
The Dragon references. There's you see Mackenzie McDonald, who's 3 for 4 tonight on his extra points, as Lakeland is now up 27-3.
Maybe this game will give it some more points so this game won't drag on.
Yeah, exactly. If we get a running clock, it surely will. Got a text while ago from our good friend Keith Cornea up in Tennessee. Said 7 shutouts? Huh? Against who? Welcome to Bryant Stadium, Sickles. Go Knots.
Yeah, baby.
Glad you're enjoying the game, Keith. Probably some cooler temperatures up there in the mountains of Tennessee. Coach Castle's sister, Sarah Monroe, and his nephew watching up in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Beautiful.
Glad you guys are enjoying the game.
Mackenzie McDonald is going to have a callus on his foot after tonight here. Running up at the 7-yard line, Clemens.
He's got a hole.
Clemens has got a big hole, cuts to the outside. Stiff arm Clemens. What a beautiful play. Down the sideline he goes. He's going to be not caught. This time Kelvin Clemens is going to make it stick. Boy, he did a fantastic stiff arm about the 45-yard line, and just it's almost like I had eyes in the back of his helmet there and knew a defender was coming in on him, and he just threw his arm back.
Two
and
big
caught
plays
him.
for Clemens 99 for the Gryphons. As he said, I'll take A.J. Davis, his 75-yard kickoff return, and raise it 15. I'll take it to the house from 90 yards. And it was a line drive kickoff, so it did not give the coverage for the Dreadnaughts very much time to get down there. And I could see once he made it through that first hole, if we didn't get him, he had nothing but green. And as you said, did a stiff arm. At that point, he was gone. You don't see stiff arms on kickoff returns very often. It's a little bit unusual, but great job there by Clemens. We almost got the block, but the Gryphons successfully convert the extra point. And just like that, back to 17-point lead, 27-10 in favor of the Dreadnaughts.
Old Danquarius Longs has been close on a couple of those extra points tonight, so he might just get one before the night's over.
This game has featured a bevy of big plays, a lot more than what we had anticipated.
I'd say.
Fortunately, more of them on the Dreadnought side, but Gryphons trying to make a comeback as they were just down by 24, but now it's 27-10. Still with 9:29 to go in the second quarter.
Feels like we should be at halftime, and a new score came in right now. A little bit of a surprise. Plant taking control back, 13-2 now the score.
They didn't waste very much time getting the lead.
So Kathleen got the early safety, and then Plant now has piled on a couple scores to go up by 11. Here the Dreadnaughts up by 17. Coming on a drive, coming on a special teams play.
Get ready maybe for a little onside kick.
Yeah, it's a pooch lobber. And fair catch by number 84. That's a live ball. I don't know why they blew the whistle.
Yeah, the refs are kind of helping us out. They're blowing the whistle quickly as Tariq Young recovers it. Lakeland will have good field position as they will start at their own 31-yard line.
Number 84 tried to make a Jaquan Lawrence kind of difficult overhead catch and probably looked up at the lights, and as Branson Brown checks back in, Holden Hodgkiss. Short field, Robinson and Young. Quick snap ball on the turf. Hotchkiss just falls back on the 30-yard line.
Hotchkiss did a good job of covering that up and just lost 1 yard on the play.
Strong flow going left. We had good blockers out there too. Just the problem was the ball wasn't there.
The rights to this webcast of this region quarterfinal matchup in the 2015 FHSAA Class 7A Football Championships have been granted to the Lakeland Football Webcast by the Florida High School Athletic Association.
Hotchkiss on a 2nd down 11 after the missed first down snap. Quick pop. Allen picks up a quick 5.
Should be 3rd and 6 after the quick burst there by Allen. And back to the disclaimer there. And it's intended solely for the enjoyment of our viewing audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this webcast without the express written consent of the Florida High School Athletic Association is prohibited.
So we'd say a semi-long 3rd down conversion play. This play has worked. Tariq Young looking to get to the outside. Maybe should have gone inside that time.
Stopped short of a 1st down. For the first time tonight, Lakeland is going to have to punt the ball as it's 4th and a long 2 right now.
Tariq kind of instinctively has been going to the outside, but that time if he would have just cut back in, he would have, I think, easily picked up the 1st down.
Excuse me, actually 4th and 3, so you do see Mackenzie McDonald in to punt.
McKenzie not getting all of it by any means. Kind of, oh yeah, it's a Shankopotamus.
And correct me if I'm wrong, isn't he not our normal kicker? Don't we usually have the Sashawn Stewart as the punter? I wonder what happened to him, because that looked like it was McKenzie to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely McKenzie McDonald. I wonder if Sashawn is out tonight. He must be hurt.
So fantastic field position after a little bit of a momentum swing. Clemens on the 90-yard touchdown return. A 17-point lead. The Dragons with a little fire back in their breath, trying to make this one a game again. Oladukin sends number 14 in motion.
That's illegal motion. Yeah.
Illegal motion. The receiver stepped up and moved. This play is going to come back regardless. He just throws it in the ground.
Had the wide receiver lined up on the far left, was moving at the same time the running back was moving.
Illegal shift, as Jeff just mentioned.
Just got a text from Zach Federer, our kicker of the last few seasons, who's a freshman up at Wheaton in Illinois. Said he's tuning in, glad to see the Knots on top. And he said Wheaton's 9-0 this year with their last regular season game tomorrow. Good job, Wheaton, and good job, Zach.
Replay first down and 15 on the 5-yard penalty, back into their own territory at the 49. Except for two big plays, for the most part, the Knots playing extremely well on this side of the ball, but they've been on the field a long time. Oladukin hands off. Couple yards. That same number 25, Anthony Quintana.
Leyland May and I believe Denquarius Long combined to make the stop there for the Dreadnaughts. Great job once again by the Dreadnought front seven, getting penetration and not giving the Gryphons very much breathing room.
I would again dare say that the 200-pound running back Brandon Brooks, the sophomore, is either injured or over there on the sideline straight across from me. Looking like he's definitely not even going to go in the ball game. As Oladukin drops back. Quick fire and beautiful catch. Caught and then rambled down the sidelines. The defender, number 33, I think that was Alante Taylor, kind of bit on it, and then as he caught it, just missed him out of bounds.
Yeah, you got to do a better job. Great catch, kind of a tough catch. The ball had some mustard on it, but good catch there by the Gryphon wide receiver. And number 14, Carl Bino, made that catch. But you got to do a better job if you're Alante Taylor of getting him down once he makes the catch. He got an extra 15 or 20 yards after he made the reception.
I don't know if Taylor just thought he wasn't going to catch it because of where the pass was coming, but he did come up with it. And Alante was nowhere to be found in the play, and we had to
got a shout out to Nancy McGreevy, who tweeted us saying that she's a season ticket holder but had to come to Ohio. I'm usually yelling and ringing my bell. I'm so happy my Knots are winning. Glad you're watching up in Ohio. Take this moment to also read you something else from the FHSAA. Sportsmanship is having pride in your school, your team, and yourself. It is the respect for the game and those who play it. The Florida High School Athletic Association reminds you to take on the responsibility of good sportsmanship. Play strong, play hard, play fair. This message is provided by the station, the Lakeland Football Webcast, and the FHSAA. Although if you're in the confines of your home and you're watching on the computer, I guess it's okay if you get a little bit upset and yell at the officials since you're not here in person. No, don't do that either. Be classy even in your living room.
be classy in your boxers.
If that's possible.
If that is, yeah. So Oladukin with the, aided by the nice catch by Carl Bonneau, lining up again to fire it out there. And this is going to be a pass and touchdown. I don't know. Did he get it? Yeah, he came up with it. Fooled the Dreadnaughts a little bit. There's a flag.
Little trickeration there, as Reese Davis would say, by the Gryphons.
Trickery. think it's just a celebration after the touchdown.
No, maybe not. They might be coming back.
Interesting.
Nonetheless, I think that was Carl Bino who took the backwards pass and threw the touchdown pass to number 25, Anthony Quintana.
That's some kind of illegal formation.
Oh, an illegal forward pass.
Oh.
So apparently they're saying that it was not a backwards pass from
So they had
Oladukin
two
to
forward passes.
Bino, yeah.
Are not allowed on the same play.
It's a good play call there, designed well, worked perfectly as Quintana was wide open in the back of the end zone.
The number 14 just needed to be about 2 yards backwards. He was, in fact, either directly a few inches or lateral to the quarterback, so that was a forward pass on the first shot, and
Big
the
break
second
for
one
the
was the illegal pass.
Big break for the Dreadnought defense there.
I'd say. Take 6 off the board, back to, with the penalty, a 2nd and 20. Outside the 25 at about the 28-yard line. 6 minutes still left in the first half. Oladukin, 2 wide receivers out. Still looking that side, left side, fires it, caught. Number 14, again, is going to get near the first down. I don't know why we're so loose on the coverage out there. Feels
Carl
like we're
Bino,
playing.
he reminds me a little bit like a Wes Welker, kind of the sneaky slot receiver for the Griffins, and Oladukin doing a great job of getting the ball out to him, and he's a very accurate passer too. Both quarterbacks have been spot on tonight with their passes.
16 yards on the pass play, and now in a manageable 3rd down and 4 at the 12. No one covering. Number 14 finally man-to-man coverage now. Oladukin with the long snap count's not going to work. Trying to give us some of our own medicine there. They're trying to pick it up the easy way, and Dreadnought defense does not jump.
We're going to take a short commercial break and be back with you for this key 3rd down.
The new 2016s are in, and the 15s have got to go. It's our fall kickoff event at Regal Kia, serving this community for over 39 years. Sold, drive today for $119 a month. Optima discounts up to $12,500. Come in, test drive, and get a Florida lottery ticket, a chance to win the $10,000 bowl game trip, or a new Kia. Score big with us. It's the fall kickoff event at Regal Kia, serving Lakeland since 1976.
Sal says yes, you pay less.
As we're approaching halftime, Jeff, you have a great halftime guest, and then we just...
Well, actually, I've gotten word that Sal is not able to make it tonight.
Bummer.
So his sister, Ginger Harrison, will be my halftime interview.
Very cool.
And actually, Ginger's son, Brandon Harrison, is assistant coach here in the Lakeland staff. One of the linebacker coaches for Lakeland. And so we'll talk with Ginger about the game and about Regal's support of Lakeland football and what's going on at Regal as well.
Big 3rd down if you're a Dragon. With 6 minutes on the clock, the first half, they trail 27-10. Trying to work their way back in this one. Oladukin drops back, quick step, now pressure. He's going to run the ball, has some room, and he's going to slide.
And he will
for
pick
the
up
first
the first
down.
down as he gets about 6 or 7 yards on that scramble. So it'll be 1st and goal now from about the 6-yard line for the Griffins as they are making a strong effort to get back into this game before halftime.
I don't see any penetration by the Dreadnought defensive line again. They're playing off a little bit. They're 2-3 yards deep, and then everyone's just kind of 3-4 yards off their cover. This time, number 25 tries to bounce back in and gets Anthony Quintana gets wrapped up right at their 5-6-yard line.
Marquise Green. Chad Berrien up there, also assisting on the tackle. Marquise Green got great penetration from his defensive tackle spot there. Gets about a half a yard there. 2nd goal from the 6 now. This would be big if Lakeland can make another red zone stand.
Knott's not making it easy on the Dragons in that red zone. Tempo set early on. Oladukin drops back looking, now scrambling himself. He's got lots of room, and he outruns everybody to the left side. He's going to score fairly easily with a good cutback. Just no one over there as he shifted directions. Everyone going right, he went left.
He's got some quicks.
Yeah.
And he has great vision. Nice cutback all the way out to the left. Poor job that time by Lakeland's defensive line of keeping containment on him as he got all the way around the left end. And the Gryphons have scored consecutive touchdowns. And they're an extra point away from making this a 10-point game at 27-17.
This game feels like it's dragging on forever in the first half. As queued up, I said there was only a matter of time before number 35 was going to get his hands on one.
We have been getting close, and we got it that time.
Dan Aquarius has just been literally getting within inches, and so I had a feeling, a hunkering, he would get one.
We've missed an extra point, and now they have two. Also missed one. And so that's a big difference, though. Instead of being up 10, we're up 11 now, so a field goal and a touchdown would not tie the game. Tonight's game, the 2015 FHSAA Class 7A Football Championships, are sponsored by the Florida High School Athletic Association. The FHSAA is a democratic organization with a membership in more than 800 middle and senior high schools, all committed to ensuring that Florida student athletes can compete fairly and equitably in an educational environment. The Florida High School Athletic Association, building leaders through teamwork, sportsmanship, and citizenship. So you see James Robinson back deep, along with his running mate Tariq Young, awaiting the kickoff from the Gryphons. But if the first few kickoffs have been an indication, they were probably not get a chance to field it, as they've been doing some pooch kicks tonight.
Dylan O'Connor, the lucky green and the lucky 13, is going to pooch lob it again. Fair catch, but if he would have looked down, he would have saw that there weren't many people coming at him. He might have just caught that one and headed straight up the field and could have got an extra 10, 15 yards, but we'll safely bring it in. And
that's safe. You know, if you don't call for a catch, you might hear footsteps, you know, and he caught it cleanly, so that's a good thing.
Plenty of time on the clock in the first half remaining for the Knots.
We've had a couple of momentum shifts in this game.
I'd say.
And the Gryphons kickoff return shifted the momentum back to them, and then they added an offensive touchdown as well. See if Lakeland can answer, get some points before the half.
Boy, nice cut by Davis. Look at all the room he's got. Just follow his block. He's staying to the outside at the 50. Endu dragging territory, dancing the sidelines. There goes Davis.
He's still going.
Are you kidding me? Davis around to the 10-yard line. A circus act.
Anthony Davis is having a night for the ages tonight, Tim.
Good sportsmanship there, too. Anthony Davis tried to flip it to the ref, and he overthrew him and went and got the ball and gave it back to him after a hard run.
Why not? He's doing everything else. Maybe you should go sell some popcorn at the concession stand while he's at it.
That's impressive. Boy, just great blocking tonight, Jeff, and on that play, too, we saw it.
And perhaps now the momentum has shifted back to Dreadnaughts as we were once again in the mid-state machine and fabricating red zone. It's about a 64-yard run there for A.J. Davis. It's first and 10 from the 11-yard line. So we can get a first down inside the one or inside the one.
He had all kinds of room.
Timeout by the Gryphons. That's going to be their third and final timeout here of the first half, because I don't think Lakeland's called any yet. So Lakeland still has their timeouts.
Nice little breeze coming in the press box.
Just a great job by Davis of being patient, following his blocks, but also great vision and bouncing outside. Multiple times tonight we've seen him bouncing outside and really take advantage of his speed along the sideline.
Lakeland High School, they want to encourage everyone to join Tempo, which is the teacher-parent organization. This year, Tempo is offering a $1,000 scholarship for qualifying graduating seniors, but a family member must be a member of Tempo or the teacher-parent organization to be eligible. Please turn in your membership form with the payment to the LHS guidance office, or ask the Tempo representative walking around the stands here to help you out. Help support the academic awards, senior breakfast, naughty night, and more by joining the teacher-parent organization or Tempo.
And the FHSAA is now on Facebook and Twitter. Go to facebook.com/FHSAA and become a fan. On the site, you can keep up with teams and people who strive to make high school athletics in the state of Florida the best. That's facebook.com/FHSAA.
Cheerleaders passing out T-shirts. Free T-shirts.
Nice. They're in the giving mood here heading into the holiday season.
Quick handoff. Allen, who's had great success tonight, this time gets stopped for the first time right at the line. That is the first time they've got him down right there at the line of scrimmage.
He's still got, though, maybe a yard and a half, almost 2 yards. We'll call it a second and probably a long 8. Follow on Twitter at FHSAA for instant news along with information on issues that affect Florida high schools. Be a fan of it all.
2nd and 8. Allen does find a way to come up with 2 yards. He's the lone setback. Davis off the left side blocking. Quick pass high. That was the first misguided missile by Hotchkiss tonight that really wasn't even close. He had it wide open on the slant, Robinson, and just threw it way too high. And
that one
him.
got away there from Hotchkiss. I don't think Kareem Abdul-Jabbar could have caught that one.
High and outside, as we'd call it if you were playing baseball. In the mid-state red zone on a 3rd down and 8 upcoming.
I think Bob Euchre used to say low and outside, right?
Yeah.
Low and just a bit outside.
We can squeak a first down at the 1.5. We'd rather just punch it in here on 3rd down. Young and Isaac, they're going to whistle it dead.
False start on
Tariq
the
Young was coming on that end around sweep.
Jet sweep.
Jet sweep.
Percy Harvin made famous in his Gator days. Speaking of that, congrats to the Gators on winning the SEC East last week for the first time in 6 seasons. We have a lot of Gator fans in the audience.
That was
a nail biter.
Touch and go for a moment there.
It'd be interesting to see here, Tim, if we do not pick up this first down or a touchdown here on 3rd down, if Coach Castle would elect to kick a field goal, that would make it, if successful, a 14-point lead. It'd be interesting to see what we do, but hopefully we won't have to make that decision.
Young and Robinson to the near side. Matavius Isaac to the far side. Davis in the backfield. Davis set to block. Looking, gets a nice block, and caught! Beautiful pass. Robinson touchdown at the 3. Tiptoes in for a very easy-looking touchdown. Great composure by the quarterback, who looked back over the middle of the field after rolling a bit left, and right on the number hits Robinson.
First touchdown pass of the night by Holden Hotchkiss after he had 3 2 weeks ago against Kathleen. That's a tough throw when you're a right-handed quarterback rolling out to the left, throwing against your body. And it was a little bit of a wobbly pass, but right on the money to Robinson. He was able to catch it, spin, and get in the end zone as Lakeland has regained momentum in this contest and is now up 34-16 with 3:15 to go in the first half.
Oh, McKenzie likes working the side of the goalpost on this extra points. try to move that thing back over to the middle a little bit more. Kind of
in the first half, Tim, well, actually, with still 3+ minutes to go in the first half, Lakeland has already scored more points against Sickles than they've allowed in any game all year. That's impressive. As a matter of fact, Tim, Sickles has only allowed, I think it was 72 points all year. At this pace, Lakeland's going to darn near get 72 points tonight, which not that we're going to keep that pace up, but. Michael just telling me in my ear that, and 14 of those points were in overtime, so really they've allowed only 58 points this year in regulation.
So we're kind of doing what they were doing and not allowing, that worked out well, didn't it? Doing the pooch lob. They've had some success on special teams, and now that Coach Castle grabbed the momentum back a little bit, they don't want to give it right back with a long special teams play. Pretty wise move on the Knott's part. Couldn't have worked much better there as the receiver for the Dragons just flew out of bounds. Broke his wing, and
that is true. They need to patch it up.
Might as well make them flying dragons. We're talking dragons. 3:15 remaining. Oladukin. Men covered. He asked number 14 to go. Now he takes off, and he's going to get hit around the 32, but picks up a solid 8 yards.
If he had been patient, he would have had 14 deep because the Lakeland defensive back bit on that a little bit. And if he would just
waited,
held
checked
just
up
a half
forward,
a second longer,
yeah, he could have lobbed it.
It could have been a big play there for the Gryphons. Nonetheless, he still gets about 7 or 8 yards on the scramble there, does Oladukin.
You saw him communicating with his receiver, Carl Bonneau, during the middle of the play saying, go, release. And unfortunately, he decided to take off and run. Fortunate for the Knots. Still an 8-yard gain, 2nd down and 2. Ball at the 32-yard line. Oladukin with a high snap, but keeps his composure and just heads up middle, and he's going to be
should get the first down.
very close,
but looks like he's going to get it. It'll be 1st and 10.
Well, with where the refs
Gryphons.
marking it, he definitely has the first down. Tip of the ball at the 35, then move the chains. Working quickly.
They have no timeouts, and we're approaching the 2-minute mark of the second quarter. Yeah, they have a lot of room to go here. They're going to score some more points before the half.
Oladukin fires, caught, and nice little move, sidestep there to pick up an extra 6 or 7 yards.
Well,
Knott's a little
more
sloppy.
than a move, it was just a missed tackle there. As Lakeland here in the second quarter have unfortunately had a few missed tackles and allowing the Gryphons to get more yards out to the catch.
Oh, Carl Bonneau is no joke here in this game. He's really turned it on, been their go-to guy now. This time number 25. This gets strung out to the right side, a couple yards.
It's amazing, Tim, the big plays and the huge momentum shifts we've had in this game. As the Gryphons had the big play to start the game, first play from scrimmage, and had to settle for a field goal, and Lakeland regained momentum with A.J. Davis's kickoff return for a touchdown.
Oladukin, pressure outside, gets spun back. Well, he's got great awareness staying on his feet, still looking, and now he's going to get wrapped up and thrown out of bounds. That'll be a flag probably. No, they don't call it.
It should not be. He was in bounds when Kramer tackled him. But he should have thrown the ball down the field. He took a sack, lost about 6 yards, just throw the ball out of bounds. He was clearly out of the pocket. Not a heads-up play by the senior there for the Gryphons.
Probably from the head coach for Sickles, the vantage point, it looked like it should have been a penalty. He's yelling, saying, what happened to the roughing the passer call there? But he couldn't see that he was still just in bounds.
He was out of pocket running,
yeah,
and he was clearly still in bounds. But getting back to the momentum shifts, then Lakeland scores 27 unanswered points after Davis's kickoff return. And then the Gryphons had a kickoff return, tacked on another touchdown, and then A.J. Davis got momentum back with his 64-yard run.
Minute 13. The quarterback getting pressure again, having to scramble a lot. We're really making him guess. He's going to try to get to the outside. He fires it, and it's caught. Nice job of just staying on his feet, but now the clock becomes
very close to a first down. Looks like
no
he's going to be
Jeff.
about half a yard short.
Yeah, the clock is going to be a factor, though. It's going to be short, and they're going to keep it running. And as you said, they used all their timeouts.
So do you punt or do you go for it? I don't see why you don't go for it. It's only fourth and a half a yard. And Lakeland gets the ball to start the second half. So the Gryphons would love to get some more points here. As you see Ski, the Dreadnought super fan there on your screen.
Quarterback's just going to keep it. He's going to get the first down, but
with no timeouts, we're down under 30 seconds. So the clock will stop on the first down. I'd imagine the Gryphons will line up and spike the ball.
(34-16).
See Coach Baldini there calling in the signals to his Dreadnought defense. 25 seconds to go before the half.
Clock ticking again. Oladukin, man-to-man coverage. He's going to let this one fly. No, he doesn't. He pulls up and launches it to nobody.
He got hit as he threw the ball, and the ball was short.
Couldn't get enough oomph behind it to try to get out to his intended receiver, number 28.
You know, overall, Tim, with a really a lone exception from that nice touchdown run he had a while ago, Lakeland's defense has done a pretty good job of keeping him contained. They haven't sacked him very much, but they have not let him get too many big plays. So overall, pretty good job there by the defense of the Dreadnaughts tonight.
He's got that X factor, you know, that a lot of great quarterbacks have, that he just keeps the play alive long enough.
Escapability and a nice pocket presence.
open receivers.
Reminds me a little bit of Johnny Manziel almost in his heyday at Texas A&M.
Second down and 10. Ole Dukin, 14 seconds, 13. Looking again to launch.
He's got room this time.
He's got a ton of room. Is he just going to run out of bounds and try to get one more play with 8 seconds left? 7, 6 before they stop the clock. So time for one more play. Shot at the end zone.
Yeah, definitely, as I was just praising the Dreadnought defense, definitely broke containment that time.
He always seems to find the open area of the field, though. You know?
Swath the field over to the left, and he took advantage of it.
He's so good at shifting directions on the field. He just sees that vision. It's like, hey, everyone's over here. I'm just going to go where everyone is not.
That's instincts, my friend.
It is. It is.
And they kind of often, they're going to kick a field goal now. Wow, they're not even going to risk another play.
O'Connor.
It's going to be a 35-yard field goal attempt. Watch for the fake here.
Going to try to boot it through. Well, that's a nice-looking kick.
Nice job there by Mr. O'Connor, right down Broadway from 35 yards. They do get 3 more points here before the first half comes to an end, and that's going to make it 34-19 with 2 seconds to go. So they will have to kick off to the Dreadnaughts. I'd imagine they do a little pooch kick or a squib kick.
15-point lead by the Knots, so still up by 2 scores.
She asked me like 2 minutes ago. I told her to interview Harvin to talk about the success of Allen and Davis.
A couple ticks on the clock. They're just going to.
I don't think we have enough time to change at this point.
O'Connor looks like he could be good from 50 yards there, 45 at least. Solid on that 35-point field goal.
Nice kicker is Dylan O'Connor. He's a senior. Be interested to see if he gets any opportunities to go kick at the next level. I would imagine somewhere that opportunity will present itself.
So with a 2-point possible play, the Gryphons pull within really 2 scores. It's just going to be the pooched, kneel down Tariq Young to end the first half. Officially 1 second left and 1 play.
So unless something crazy happens here on this play, Lakeland will take a 15-point lead into halftime. They had a lead as big as 24 at 27-3. So the Gryphons have cut into that. But still, anytime you take a 2-touchdown lead into the half, you got to feel pretty good about that, especially against such a good defense that the Gryphons possess.
No one's ready, so they're just taking a knee. And they do to end the first half. Dreadnaughts leading by 15, 34-19. Your score. Lots of action here in the first half. You've seen it about all. You've seen some special teams, block, long runs. Fun stuff from the Knots and the Gryphons.
And Emily Dunson, our veteran sideline reporter, will be interviewing Coach Harbin, the running backs coach here at Lakeland High School. And we'll bring that to you in just a second as you see the score, Lakeland 34, Sickles 19 at the half. And tonight's playoff game brought to you by Regal of Lakeland. Go ahead, Emily. Take it away.
About AJ, he's done a great job.
Yeah, he's finding holes and making plays. When and I thought he was tackled 3 times on that last run, and he kept going and making cuts, and he works hard in practice, and it's finally paying off out here on the playoff game when we really need it. So
Absolutely. Yeah. Xavier Allen is doing exceptionally well this game. Talk to me a little bit about him.
Xavier, we've been working on him. Big thing with him, I'm telling him to keep his feet, moving on contact, and he's learning, and he's getting. I think he's got 3 touchdowns right now, so he's doing well, and we hope he continues to run the ball hard for us because he's a big part of our offense.
Yes, sir. He's getting better and better.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll let you go back to the locker room.
Thank you very much.
Back up to you guys.
Thanks, Emily. It's interesting to hear what the coach just said. Working on Xavier Allen, keeping his feet moving, and we've seen that. You can definitely tell that's something they've been working on. As there's been a couple times when he's nearly been tackled and he's kind of kicked his ankles up, and they haven't been able to get him down. So the Dreadnaughts, I think, performing well, certainly on a lot of facets in the first half. and enjoying that 15-point lead. But this game is far from over, Jeff. They're going to have to keep putting some points on the board and then make a few big stops, I think, and not have any turnovers in the second half.
The Lakeland defense overall has done a good job on that, but as you can see, the Griffins definitely have some big play potential. They can move the ball and score some points themselves. And so, as you said, the game is far from over. But if Lakeland continues to play with let's be honest, Lakeland is executing very well. No turnovers the first half, only a couple penalties. Once again, as you said, really picking up right where they left off in the Kathleen game in terms of how crisp and how focused they are tonight.
I think you could see easily, if Lakeland wasn't on their game so much in both sides of the ball tonight, how this Griffin team could really come in and sweep you. I mean, they've got, especially the quarterback is exceptional. He's always finding those empty areas of the field, and then just when you think you got him, he's going to throw the ball. So he's utilizing every yard that's out there, every open space to keep the play alive, and he's done a good job. It's kind of fun to watch.
And if you're just joining us, welcome to the Harry Seafood Halftime Show. And Lakeland leading 34-19 over Sickles. Glad you've joined us tonight. We're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be back with you with my halftime interview with Ginger Harrison from Regal of Lakeland.
Good stuff.
The new 2016s are in, and the 15s have got to go. It's our fall kickoff event at Regal Kia, serving this community for over 39 years. Sold, drive today for $119 a month. Optima discounts up to $12,500. Come in, test drive, and get a Florida lottery ticket, a chance to win the $10,000 bowl game trip, or a new Kia. Score big with us. It's the fall kickoff event at Regal Kia, serving Lakeland since 1976.
Sal says yes, you pay less.
Jeff Goddard back with you as the Harry Seafood Halftime Show marches on. And now I'm pleased to be joined by my guest tonight, Ginger Campisi Harrison. Thank you for joining me, Ginger.
Thank you for having me.
Now, of course, your family, your dad, Sal Campisi Sr., started Regal Lakeland 39 years ago.
Yep, we're celebrating our 40th anniversary next year.
That's awesome, and we're so appreciative of you guys being big supporters of Lakeland football, and we'll talk about that some more in a minute. But I know you're a big Lakeland fan. What are your thoughts on the first half tonight?
Well, it's been exciting. I thought we were doing really great, and they seem to be catching, and I hope we can finish it strong.
A lot of momentum shifts in this
Yes,
first half.
yes. Mhm.
Now, your son, Brandon Harrison, is one of the linebacker coaches on staff for the Dreadnaughts. Talk a little bit about that.
Yes, he loves coaching. He took another job full-time, but he has made arrangements so that he can come back and do this because he loves it so much and being part of the team.
Of course, he used to teach at the school, right?
Yes, he did. He did that before he got the full-time job where he's at now.
How many years has he been on the Dreadnought coaching staff?
I think this is his third year.
Very nice. So as I mentioned, you guys, the Regal family, have been very big supporters of Lakeland football going back many years. Why is that, and why have you guys decided to be supporters of Lakeland High School and the Dreadnought football program?
Well, both my husband and I attended Lakeland and graduated from there. Both of our children. He has family also that graduated from there. I have a niece going to Harrison. So we're just, big supporters of the school.
Let's talk a little bit about Regal. You guys have grown over the last several years. You have 2 locations now. Talk a little bit about the brands that you guys sell at Regal.
Well, we call our north side where we have Honda, Acura, and GMC. And then we have our south side where we call, and we have Chevy and Kia there.
And that's right next to Lakeland High School.
Yes, it is. That's our tagline. We're right next to Lakeland High School.
All right. And speaking of taglines, one of your main tagline is a different experience.
Yes.
And I'm very familiar with that as I've bought 7 cars from you guys over the years.
Thank you.
Very happy Regal customer. Talk a little bit though about what that means, a different experience.
Well, we just try to treat customers like we would with our family. We want to have a good experience, make it be a comfortable one for them where they'll want to come back and tell their friends and family to come to.
I can attest to that. It's always a pleasant experience. Car shopping at Regal, they've always treated me well.
We try.
My very first car when I was in high school, my parents let me get it was a used car, Toyota Corolla, off your used lot. And then since then, I've had 4 Accords and 2 Civics.
Oh, great. Honda.
Yeah, Honda. I love
guy,
Honda.
Yeah.
I got a little crazy a few years ago and decided I want to try a European car. But then I came back to you guys and came back to Honda earlier this year.
Oh.
The Civic gets great gas
you.
mileage, and my job as a sales rep, that's important.
That's what my husband always buys, Hondas.
You can't beat a Honda.
Yeah. And my son and my daughters do. So.
Very nice. Now, also, we talked about all the brands you have, but you guys also have a big used car superstore, right? And so quite a few used cars, I believe.
Yes, we do. We have a large inventory on both sides, and we just try to get what people need and stock it for them.
I know you mentioned you'll be celebrating your 40th year
next year.
Next year. Mm-hmm. What month is that going to be? And are
May.
there any plans underway?
We have a little thing we're trying to plan, to try to, celebrate that big momentous time for my dad coming here and my brother's taking over now. So it's been, something to celebrate.
Your brother being Sal Campisi Jr.
Junior, yes.
So you've heard it here first tonight. If you're looking for a new car, next May would be a great time to buy one.
Yep.
As I'm sure they'll have specials and everything.
We will, anniversary special. Yep.
Celebrating their 40th anniversary. But seriously, we appreciate you guys being big sponsors of Lakeland football and stepping up and sponsoring the playoff game tonight.
Yep.
And we appreciate that. So if you're out there in the Lakeland area or anywhere in the Central Florida area and you need a new car, I highly encourage you to go visit the fine folks, the Campisi family at Regal Lakeland. They will not disappoint you, as it will be a different experience for you as you go to buy your next car. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Ginger.
Thank you so much for having us. We enjoy it, and I love supporting the team.
Thank you very much. We'll go ahead and go back down to the field and let you enjoy some more of the Lakeland High School Dreadnought Marching Band.
Thank you.
It's our tailgate clearance at Regal Lakeland, Central Florida's largest used car dealer. Go to regallakeland.com to see all our vehicles, all at wholesale prices. Over 500 vehicles, all makes, including our pre-auction units. 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty on all Regal certified vehicles. If you just want to sell your car, we're the #1 Kelley Blue Book dealer. Credit specialist on site for any situation. All confidential. Only at the 2 locations of Regal Lakeland, your family store.
Agnini Family Dental truly is a family of doctors. We strive to give our patients a patient-first dental experience. Our goal at Agnini Family Dental is to provide our patients with the highest level of comprehensive dental care and prevention. Every member of our team promises to put the needs and concerns of every patient first in every aspect of their dental care. Our family of doctors take a tooth-conservative approach to restorative dentistry with a special focus on sedation dentistry, implant dentistry, and orthodontics. Call to schedule your appointment today and let our family of doctors change the way you look at dentistry.
In my profession, we meet a lot of people who are going through a lot of losses and harms, and people who have lost loved ones, lost children, losing their house, losing their car, and it really wears on you sometimes. But I can tell you that it also drives you. It really pushes you to want to protect them. When we help clients, we can't always fix all their problems, but we do our very best to help them through their problems.
County High School juniors and seniors. Submit your A's and B's to Bartow Ford for your chance to win a new Mustang. Visit DriveForExcellence.com for official rules. The 23rd Annual Drive for Excellence with Bartow Ford. We're different and we prove it.
The new 2016s are in, and the 15s have got to go. It's our fall kickoff event at Regal Kia, serving this community for over 39 years. Sold, drive today for $119 a month. Optima discounts up to $12,500. Come in, test drive and get a Florida lottery ticket, a chance to win the $10,000 bowl game trip, or a new Kia. Score big with us. It's the fall kickoff event at Regal Kia, serving Lakeland since 1976.
Sal says yes, you pay less.
Jeff Goddard back with you with the Harry Seafood halftime show. And as you see there, the Lakeland Dreadnaughts are leading the Sickles Gryphons 34-19 at halftime. Tonight's playoff game brought to you by Regal of Lakeland. We were just joined by Ginger Campisi Harrison, part of the Campisi family, who has owned Regal for 39 years here in Lakeland. Let's do a brief recap of the first half for you. Sickles got the opening kickoff, and the first play from scrimmage was a 70-plus yard run down to around the 11-yard line. Then they had first and goal at the half-yard line. Had a false start penalty, and that ended up leading them to have to settle for a field goal, so the Gryphons led 3-0. Then A.J. Davis took the ensuing kickoff 75 yards to the house for a touchdown, and Lakeland was up 7-0. A Griffin turnover led to another Dreadnought score, and Xavier Allen actually scored 3 rushing touchdowns in a row, as Lakeland scored 27 unanswered points and was up 27-3. Then the momentum shifted back to the Griffins as Kelvin Clemens returned the kickoff 90 yards to make it 27-10. Then after a 3-and-out on a short Lakeland punt, Griffins drove down and scored a touchdown but missed the extra point. A nice run by the quarterback, Chris Okulon, on a scramble, made it 27-16. Then Lakeland regained the momentum as A.J. Davis sauntered down the right sideline for a 64-yard run, and that set up a touchdown pass from Holden Hotchkiss to James Robinson, making it 34-16. And just before the half, the Griffins drove back down into field goal range and kicked a 35-yard field goal. And that's where we're at right now as we're waiting to start the second half. And the Dreadnaughts are up 34-19. And you can follow us at LHS Dreadnaughts on Twitter. We'd love for you to tweet us and tell us where you're watching at. Just got a tweet a while ago from Coach Farkas' dad up in Richmond, Virginia, saying the O-line looks great tonight and a great job of pass protection. Mr. Farkas, I agree with you. Great job tonight by the offensive line. Holden Hotchkiss has had plenty of time to throw the ball tonight. And if you watched our pregame show, we said that was one of our keys to victory tonight, was excellent offensive line play, and the Dreadnaughts are definitely delivering that up front tonight. Also, if you'd like to get the Lakeland football updates, You can sign up for that at visitlakelandfootball.com, and every Friday before the game, we send an email out to you previewing the game. We'd love for you to join us on that list. Once again, visit lakelandfootball.com to sign up for the email updates. And of course, the Dreadnaughts will get the ball to start the second half, so we'll see if Lakeland can add to the 15-point lead before the Gryphons even get to touch the ball here in the second half. We have not heard an update in a while, but the last score we heard from Plant was Plant 13 and Kathleen 2. And of course, whoever wins tonight's game between the Dreadnaughts and the Gryphons will play the winner of that game next Friday night. And I believe from what I've heard that if Lakeland wins tonight, we will be hosting next week's game. Of course, it gets Kathleen as the district runner-up. But even if Plant wins and Lakeland wins, from what I understand, that game will be at Bryant Stadium next week, which would be nice since we had to go on the road last year for the second round of the playoffs. If you remember, a thrilling but heartbreaking defeat to Kissimmee Osceola 35-28. As I now will welcome back my partner Tim Conti back onto the set. Come on, Tim. Also want to give a shout out to Luke Redden, who's watching the game tonight. He's a future Dreadnaught legend. He's one of our biggest fans. Thank you, Luke, for watching the game. Also want to give a shout out to Coach Will Baylor's parents, who I'm sure are watching the game up in the Washington, D.C. area. And while we're on the topics of parents, I'll also give a shout out to my parents, who I know are watching the game, as they watch the game every Friday night. And my nephew John Rocco's over at his grandparents' house tonight watching the game as well. So hope you guys are enjoying the contest tonight. Tim, did you get to see your dad at halftime?
He is actually at home tonight as well, too. Texted me earlier and said he's just going to stay home and watch the webcast tonight. So, hey, Tony and Carol, my parents there, home in Lakeland, watching us live tonight. Now, I don't know if the Dreadnaughts are a little late in getting out. There's 0 on the clock, and the Sickles team has been ready to go for about 2 or 3 minutes, and the Knots just came kind of sauntering out and are still warming up. And
hopefully Lakeland has not lost their focus.
Well, going at their own pace a little bit. But I tell you what, we got some football to play still, Jeff, and talking to a few other people. Most people are like, we need to at least put up one more touchdown as kind of the consensus. And I would kind of agree with that. I think we need 7, certainly maybe 10 points to be safe in this one, is what my feeling is. Because I think they're going to come out pretty fired up, as we saw them in the halftime come together as a team and cheer. And they think they can still win this one, obviously, which is dangerous when they have that kind of hope still. And so we're going to have to play a good second half.
And looking back some more at the first half, Tim, it was a very clean and well-played game, really, by both teams. Not a lot of penalties for either side. Only the one turnover, which fortunately, if you're a Dreadnaught fan, was the fumble that the Gryphons quarterback committed. Lakeland recovered it and scored about 3 or 4 plays later. Helped Lakeland build that big 24-point lead they enjoyed in the early portions of the second quarter. So it'd be interesting to see if the game stays that way, cleanly played, or if it gets a little sloppy here in the second half, if we see a few more penalties or not. But if Lakeland can continue to protect the ball and stay relatively penalty-free as they have so far tonight, you got to like Lakeland's chances with a 15-point lead here in the second half.
And traditionally, Lakeland is a good third quarter team, so if they stay kind of true and consistent with that and don't let their guard down, I think they'll be in good shape, and certainly tacking on 7 or 10 would be helpful.
And we've talked about most of the points that we made in the pregame show about keys to victory here at halftime, by the fact we've had excellent offensive line play, and we definitely have limited the turnovers and penalties. And the other key to victory, he said, was you don't let the quarterback, become a bull. For the most part, we have done a good job of containing him. He had the one touchdown, which is a great play by him, but overall, we've kept him in check for the most part, as you have to remember one of the 2 touchdowns that they've scored tonight was, of course, special teams touchdown.
Yeah,
and the first field goal was set up by a long run by the running back. So overall, they've done a good job of keeping their star quarterback under control tonight.
Yeah, he's just that kind of quarterback, so you're going to expect him to be elusive and continue to escape tackles and make plays. But like you said, Jeff, you just can't allow him in those key moments to run free, and you got to keep pressure on him. Maybe force him to make a decision he doesn't want to, or put him in an uncomfortable position as O'Connor is set. The Dragons won the coin toss, but they wanted to take the ball in the first half, and then they're going to allow number 3 to Tariq Young to get the ball. He's doing some dancing and grooving at the 37.
Nice little return there by Tariq. But actually, I think if he'd have kept on going outside to the right side of the field, I think he actually could have had a bigger return. But nonetheless, great field position for Lakeland as they start the second half. 1st and 10 from their own 38-yard line here in the third quarter.
Well, they tightened up a little bit, but Kathleen and Plant. Plant was leading 13-2, and now Kathleen has come back and put some points on the board. 13-11 is the score we're getting from that game, so a close one, and the other first-round playoff game that we're watching.
So apparently the Kathleen kicked 3 field goals, or maybe got a touchdown, missed an extra point, got a field goal, but nonetheless, Plant leads 13-11. So that game very much up for grabs.
Tariq Young, nice 5-yard gain on first down. We've seen that kind of jet sweep play, getting him some room to work and then letting him play in the open field has been a good recipe for positive yards. Quintavious Isaac goes out to the far side, and Robinson, who's having a nice night, comes back inside man-to-man coverage there. Inside handoff, flag on the play. It'll be brought back, and
that was close to being a face mask there, but I don't see a flag on that. There was a flag at the beginning of the play, which is probably going to be an infraction of some sort on Lakeland. And it is against the Dreadnaughts. So we'll wait to see exactly what the call is.
Stingy.
Illegal shift. Now, I just got a text from Charlie Hall saying that according to Score Stream, Plant is up 21-8 on Kathleen.
Huh.
So there's a little bit of discrepancy. We're getting some different reports as to exactly what the score is over in Tampa tonight.
I think we're pretty confident here. 34-19 is the score at Bryant Stadium. Second down and 11. I meant confident of what the score is, not confident that we're going to win this one. I definitely think that we got to do some work. We got to put some points on the board.
First down.
I say 10.
First down throw there from Holden Hotchkiss to James Robinson. So they overcome that illegal shift penalty. First down, Dreadnaughts as they cross the 50-yard line, and we'll have 1st and 10 at the Gryphons' 49-yard line. Charlie Hall says they are watching him and his family up in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and they are actually moving back to Lakeland December the 11th. He says hopefully just in time for the 7A state championship game.
That would be nice.
Well, you'll be here back in town in time for that. Hopefully the Dreadnaughts will be playing in it.
Handoff, Davis following a block. Good job, Davis. That was a face mask. How come they didn't see that?
Clearly looked like a face mask to us up here in the press box.
Had a couple coaches throw their arms out and say, really?
Also get a text from Chase Madden, Lakeland alum, who is up at West Point. It says, great to be watching the game from West Point, although would love to watch some Lakeland football in person over Thanksgiving break, even though we have a great broadcast. Thank you, Chase, and hopefully we will still be playing in a couple weeks, and you can watch him in person as you get to come home for Thanksgiving.
8 yards on first down. Davis, 2nd down and 2. Man in motion. Allen's going to get the call, and he got hit right as he got the ball. I mean, it was almost the same time, and that's been one of their stars.
Great.
Kelvin Clemens on offense, now playing on defense.
I think that was number 8 that made the tackle. That's Anthony Montavo, their defensive end / tight end. I see he got great penetration there and wrapped up Xavier Allen. So now 3rd and 4 for the Dreadnaughts.
You know, we went to the outside shifts a lot, those quick passes. Now we're going back inside, and they're stuffing that. There we go. Nice. Well, I was going to say just nice play call, but high and away.
Really only the 2nd bad throw of the night by Hotchkiss, and just like the first one, it was high. That usually Tim, when he does have a bad pass, it tends to sail on him sometimes. Doesn't throw the ball on the ground very often. Got a text from, or a tweet from Brian up in Bama. It says, go Coach Harbin. I know Coach Harbin's from Alabama, must be a friend of his. And a tweet from Richard saying, watching over here in Winter Haven, doing a great job, guys. Go, but missed the radio broadcast.
Movement all over the field.
But we're glad you're enjoying the webcast nonetheless.
Knee was down. That ball is going to be dragging ball at the 45-yard line of the Knots.
So not a good start here to the third quarter for the Dreadnaughts, as the Gryphons would take over in great field position. 1st and 10 at the Dreadnought 45-yard line. A miscue there by McKenzie, who has not really punted all year.
He didn't even really know what he did there, Jeff. He said, "What did I do? What did I do?" And I said, "Oh, you can't touch your knee and you're down."
So Sean Stewart, the senior, who normally does punting duties, as McKenzie has done the kicking all year.
So in effect, that's a turnover, really, Jeff. I mean, I would not a traditional type, but with no punt, just as good as it for Oladukin. He drops way back, sinking long, man-to-man coverage downfield, and it's going to be intercepted at the 1-yard line. There's a good defensive play.
The other referee signals a touchback. Great job there by Damari Mathis, who had great coverage, was with the receiver from the Griffins step for step.
Concentration, too, when he brought the ball down, Damarius Mathis.
As overall, the Lakeland secondary has had great coverage now. Now, they have missed a few tackles after the Griffin receivers made catches, but their coverage overall has been spot on tonight.
No doubt where Oladukin was going that time. He said, "I'm going to chuck this one as far as I can and give my receiver that shot man to man."
Beautifully thrown ball.
Yeah, it was fine. It got there, but
better coverage though by Mathis.
Mathis was in better position than the receiver on the inside, and then held onto the ball. So Dreadnaughts on the turnover, and Davis gets it back, runs into the ref, spins around, bounces. Look at him go, carrying the pile to the 40-yard line.
A 20-yard run by A.J. Davis, an inspired and powerful 20-yard run.
Didn't even let the ref stop him on that play. He just kept running around him.
And Tim, in a game that's featured numerous momentum shifts, we just saw momentum shifts on back-to-back plays there. We botched the punt. They got the ball in great field position. The very next play, interception by Damari Mathis.
Pinball wizard there, Davis, on that carry. First down at the 40. Now Allen gets a turn, keeping those feet moving, as the coach said earlier, and a first down into Sickle territory, 45.
Another powerful run by the human bowling ball, Xavier Allen. I would not want to see him running at me if I'm a defensive back.
Not free in the open, that's for sure. Couple big chunks being gained here by the Knot running backs.
Once again, a great job by the Dreadnought offensive line tonight, opening up some big holes in the running game here in the third quarter.
Tip of the ball at the 45. Tight formation. Davis calling for the ball. He wants it. He gets a block. Skimming out to the 40. Nice run. Still on his feet near the 35. 8-9 yards.
8 yards that time by A.J. Davis.
Davis wants it. He's at that point. He's clapping back there saying, "Come on, let's go this now. I want to get the ball and run."
Not that he's ever unmotivated, but he appears to be especially motivated tonight and really having one of his best games of the season, perhaps even his Dreadnought career tonight, especially when you factor in the kickoff return he had to get the scoring going for Lakeland there in the first quarter.
They give him nearly 9, so 2nd down and 1. Wouldn't doubt they go right back to Allen, and they do. Allen bounces off the first tackler, and I think forward progress should have him with a first down at the 35.
You know what, Tim, one thing that's interesting about this Griffin defense, and obviously we gave them a lot of accolades coming in, they deserve that with having pitched 7 shutouts this year, but they're not especially big. If you look at their front 7, you know, they're athletic, they're quick, but they're not especially big. So I think you're seeing a little bit of that tonight in terms of the Lakeland offensive line having their way with although impressive, but maybe slightly undersized front 7 from Sickles High School.
3rd down and a rabbit tail.
This might just be a quarterback sneak here by
just wait until his players get set. Hotchkiss under center, dives forward, and he has the first down if he holds onto the ball, and he pile drops. Well executed. It's funny how in a lot of those quarterback sneaks you expect to get 6 inches or a yard, and you end up getting 2, 3, 4 yards. Good push by the pile.
Either you get stuff for a loss or you get like 2 or 3 yards. You rarely just get like a half a yard.
You need, right. Timeout for the third quarter water break with 6:18 remaining. Dreadnoughts still lead 34-19. We'll go ahead and take a quick timeout and be right back with you here at Bryant Stadium.
The new 2016s are in, and the 15s have got to go. It's our fall kickoff event at Regal Kia, serving this community for over 39 years. Sold, drive today for $119 a month. Optima discounts up to $12,500. Come in, test drive, and get a Florida lottery ticket, a chance to win the $10,000 bowl game trip, or a new Kia. Score big with us. It's the fall kickoff event at Regal Kia, serving Lakeland since 1976.
Sal says yes, you pay less.
Back at Bryant Stadium, third quarter. Couple turnovers, kind of a missed, I won't say a missed punt, but a bit of a mistake by our punter, Mackenzie McDonald, who took a knee and gave the Dragons good field position in Dreadnought territory. And then on ensuing pass play, Ola Dukin launched one and is picked off by Mathis. And starting at the 20, the Dreadnoughts on the move, heading north. Davis in motion, inside handoff, Young. Boy, he had a lot of room cutting back to the middle and just kept going outside, picked up a few yards, second down and about 8.
That play has not worked tonight, which with the quickness and the speed of the Griffin defense, not all that surprising. But the power runs have certainly worked, in the straight-on runs by Davis and Allen.
Contavious Isaac checks out. Branson Brown back in at tight end. Allen 2 yards deep. Quick drop. Boy, he had Robinson wide open. Nice pass. He threw it to where he thought Robinson was going to be and still dancing around. Now finds a seam. Just go down there. Don't flag on the play. Couple blocks I saw in the back there as he was cutting back, but they could have called a myriad of things on that play.
Anytime you're doing that much running east-west, as Robinson was doing, that there's always, or at least I should say, that increases the probability of being a block in the back somewhere. Almost would have been better if he just gone out of bounds right after he caught the ball.
Beautiful pass by
So
Hodgkiss.
one penalty is a block in the back. I think it might be a multiple flags in this play. No, I guess that was it. So, yeah, great play. You're right, great pass by Hodgkiss as he was scrambling out to his right, and Robinson came out to the ball. Good heads-up play by him, and a nice accurate pass by Holden.
Well, Robinson ran about the 8-yard line, and then he circled back around, and he was getting pressure, so Hodgkiss had to let it go, but he threw it to where he thought Robinson was going to be not where he was, or else it would have been potentially picked off, and Robinson came right to the ball. There's a little bit of an injury, but the Sickles player's up, and yeah, their kicker got roughed up a little bit. Roughing the kicker.
Who also doubles as a defensive back. So Lakeland will not get a first down on the play due to the penalty, but it would be a replay of second down. So it went from 2nd 8 to 2nd 5.
Still not bad on the move, but that hurts now.
And I think a timeout was called. Yes, a
Timeout
timeout
Lakeland.
called by the Dreadnaughts. The first timeout here in the second half. We'll go ahead and take a short commercial break and be back with you momentarily as the Dreadnaughts lead 34-19.
In my profession, we meet a lot of people who are going through a lot of losses and harms, and people who have lost loved ones, lost children, losing their house, losing their car, and it really wears on you sometimes. But I can tell you that it also drives you. It really pushes you to want to protect them. When we help clients, we can't always fix all their problems, but we do our very best to help them through their problems.
Back at Bryant Stadium, you see Robinson there, number 4. And the Knots huddling up. Coach Castle, Boldini, all of them out there. Spurring on this team on a 2nd down and 5. Under 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Hodgkiss under center. Davis, a nice skip to the side. He gets kind of horse-collared, but it's a legal tackle because he had him just below.
Jake Hampton, the middle linebacker for the Gryphons, the nice tackle there. It looked like Davis had a big hole there and some room to run. If Hampton was not able to bring him down from behind, that would have been a much bigger play for AJ, but good job there by number 44 for the Gryphons.
That always seems to take the most out of you when you're a running back, when you get drugged down from behind like that. Your legs take a different kind of pressure, and
definitely
seems to
puts
take
a
more
strain on your legs.
Yeah, it does. It puts more strain on your body all around. 3rd and about 6 inches. Call it a yard. Quarterback sneak again. It all depends on the spot. Who knows?
I don't think he got it. Honestly, it looks like it's very close. They're going to have to measure this. He may have gotten it. I think we might see the chain
where he
gang
puts it down.
up.
Oh, boy, that is close.
The first down mark is in between the 23 and 22-yard line. That's where the ball is also spotted, in between those two hashes. So, yeah, they're going to have to measure it.
Yeah, that's too close to call.
Did you see Coach Castle talking with Holden Hotchkiss over on the sideline?
The offensive line wasn't quite set as well as the last quarterback sneak. They just kind of rushed it. They didn't get a good push.
I don't think there's any
Yeah,
question.
it's going to be short by short by a bunch, 6, 7, 8 inches.
So we are hearing that, in fact, the second score is the correct one in the Kathleen game. Plan is up 21-8 over the Red Devils. So 4th and a half a yard, and with the ball on the 23-yard line, I don't think Coach Castle's going to let the kick a 40-yard field goal, so clearly they're going to go for it here.
They're tough on the inside. I would go to the outside. I would rather get Davis
they
or
got
Young.
the jumbo package in there.
Yeah, they're going. Oh, look at that! Allen's going to score. No one's even going to touch him. Go, big man, go! Wow, he was dainty going through that line.
Xavier Allen with his 4th touchdown of the ball game tonight, having a whale of a game. The talented fullback for the Dreadnaughts.
Said, you can't see me, you can't catch me.
And as you said, a lot of times when they're trying to really stuff you on those 4th and inches.
Well, everyone hits gaps, and if you hit the wrong gap, you have a wide open lane.
If you get by that first wave,
yeah,
you're gone, and that's exactly what happened as Xavier Allen scores.
Come on, McKenzie.
And McKenzie
there he goes.
Knocks the extra point through the uprights, and Lakeland now leading 41-19.
Yeah, it's a good. Mike just he's a good color commentating down there, and you saw Xavier Allen let loose of the ball just as he was at the goal line, almost a little too close for comfort. So
yeah, I was a little concerned about that. Yeah. And Coach Baylor was kind of letting him have it there on the sideline, saying you cannot do that.
Be sure you're in, and then drop the ball when you see the back of the goal line with your feet. Then you can let the ball go.
Let me tell you about a story involving Leon Lett and Don Beebe.
Yeah, right.
And you got to protect that ball, and you got to make sure you're well into the end zone before you drop the football.
Good job, offense.
Lake Gibson playing Brandon tonight, and
did you say 13-13? Is
Brandon is either tied or Brandon might have been up. I couldn't tell, but
Mackenzie McDonald, good job again. Pooch lobbing it and pinning
not called for a catch. He's able to get about 5 or 6 yards and return out past the 35-yard line.
That's brave of Stephen Quills to not call a fair catch and scamper up the sidelines for an extra 7-8 yards.
Yes, it was.
Ola Dukin. Sounds like a Star Wars character. Be a nice name for on the planet of whatever.
Chris Oladukin, talented quarterback. He's had a pretty good game, but also thrown an interception and fumbled the ball. So Lakeland has done a good job keeping him under wraps tonight so far.
Handoff. Number 5, Clemens runs into everybody
nice job
from behind.
Pursued there by Matt Kramer.
Good job, Matt.
Who could not quite get to him in the backfield, but kept pursuit. And as he stalled to dance, Kramer got him from behind. Matt Kramer, on the scouting report, you would say he has a motor that never stops. I think he'll have a successful career at the next level.
Again, virtually no gain by Kramer coming from the backside. 2nd down and 9. Quick pass out to low. I don't know if he did catch it. Got his arms under it.
But the ball was a little bit low there, so he had to go to the ground and catch it. Unable to get any extra yardage, so it's going to bring up 3rd and short. Caught 3rd and a long 2 here for the Gryphons.
Gryphons working quick here. They got to get several scores, so they're not wasting any time. No huddle. Linebackers check up. Pitch play, and that's a fumble right now, and the Dreadnaughts recover. On the pitch, did not look smooth, something we haven't seen a lot from them, trying something a little different.
And guess who recovered it? Dan Aquarius Longs. Yeah, you could tell they're not very comfortable doing that. That was a horrible pitch there by Oladukin, and then Aquarius Longs recovers it, and Lakeland is at a point right now in the game, Tim. They can pretty much put this game out of reach if they can punch this ball in the end zone here and go up 48-19. That would be their biggest lead of the game at 29 points.
Big mistake.
If they're able to do that.
Dreadnaughts trying to get closer to put this one away. Nice play action by the quarterback. He's just going to run. He's not the fleetest of foot. Number 30 catches up and wraps him up.
It's going to just be about a 1 yard loss on the side there, so not a big deal. It'll be 2nd and 11. A lot of the fact that Coach Castle was going for a big play there on 1st down after the turnover.
Does that often. That was a nice tackle by Nick Heikkinen.
With the problems punting tonight, I got a feeling we may not see very many more punts by Lakeland unless it's deep in the territory. I think if we're past midfield, it's going to be 4 down territory. Unless it's 4th and really long.
1 yard loss, 2nd down and 11. Hotchkiss up the middle, nice hole. Davis closed quickly, linebackers got him. Back past the original line of scrimmage. Nigel Brown on the tackle.
Number 33, Cameron Miller, their stud defensive end linebackers. Kind of a quiet game tonight, but made the tackle there, along with big number 45, Nigel Brown, who's probably their biggest defensive lineman. 3rd and long here for Lakeland.
Third and 8. Roll out, Hotchkiss. Nice pass, caught, and second effort, 1st down. He was going down, got hit right when he caught the ball, and Tariq Young
he squirted out of the tackle and got an extra yard and got the 1st down. And another great throw by Hono Hotchkiss there as he's rolling out to his right. Having a great game tonight is the talented junior quarterback. Error-free, I might add.
Squirted out was a good visual, Jeff. I pictured that last little, you're trying to get out of the tube of toothpaste. It's just kind of like it pops, squirts out of there, and he did that. He was seemingly contained and then picked up that extra 1.5 yards, 2 yards. Fresh set of downs, and that'll be a no-gainer there. Davis.
Jake Hampton.
Wrapped up by 3 Dragons.
And Nick Heikkinen combined to make the tackle. So 2nd and 10 as no gain on that play by A.J. Davis. The Griffin defense is stiffening a little bit against the run here on this drive.
They're stiffening, but they're on the field an awful long time, which is good for us too, Jeff. So not only are
A.J. could break on any given play, but got a feeling we might see a play action fake here on 2nd down.
Still moving the ball, but taking a lot of time off the clock. There's a nice hole. Davis to the outside, stiff arm, cuts back, still on his feet. 15-10, bouncing down to the 5. Wow. How in the world is he keeping his feet?
As we're in the final stages of the 3rd quarter, A.J. Davis is proving
Dragons are saying there was a fumble.
to be nearly impossible to bring down, as he has so many times throughout his career. Just a tough runner. Rarely does the first guy bring him down. And to be 1st and goal for Lakeland inside the 5-yard line, as once again we're in the Mid-State Machinery and Fabricating Corporation red zone.
How to talk about the offensive line a little bit, Jeff. On that time, they shifted and just pushed the Dragons back like 5 yards off the ball, and Davis had a easy, fresh kind of head start. And he comes out of the ball game just for a breather. So does Tariq Young as the power package goes in. Xavier Allen's going to clean things up and maybe going for his 5th of the night, just short by about a half a yard.
At the half-yard line, and that's going to be the last play of the third quarter. So the teams will have to shift ends from the north end zone to the south end zone. It's a good third quarter for Lakeland as they scored a touchdown and kept Sickles off the scoreboard. So your score heading into the fourth quarter, tonight's playoff game, Lakeland 41 and Sickles 19. We'll take a short commercial break and be back with you with the fourth quarter.
County High School juniors and seniors. Submit your A's and B's to Bartow Ford for your chance to win a new Mustang. Visit DriveFordExcellence.com for official rules. The 23rd annual Drive for Excellence with Bartow Ford. We're different and we prove it.
Back at Bryant Stadium, you're watching the first round playoff game of the FHSAA High School 7A playoffs. Your Lakeland Dreadnaughts, except for a few exchanges of momentum, have by and large really controlled the ball game and the tempo.
Yeah, we've had some momentum shifts, but overall, Lakeland grabbed control of the game early on with those 27 unanswered points, and has pretty much been in control throughout this ball game, Tim.
Second down and goal to go at the half-yard line, and there goes the big man for his, I don't even know what you call when you score 5 touchdowns. We need to make up a name for that.
Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Yes.
Xavier Allen with the biggest game of his Dreadnought career, hitting pay dirt not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, but 5 times.
I tell you, tweet what you would name someone like, you know, in hockey when you score 3, it's a hat trick. What would you all call there out in Dreadnought land when someone scores 5 touchdowns? Let's think of something we could call that, something funny, and tweet it to us and we'll put it on the air. $48-19 now.
Yeah, I think so. Xavier Allen, he's going to be the big man on campus on Monday.
Many fullbacks don't score 5 touchdowns in a regular season.
But really, it's been truly a two-headed monster, if you will, for the Lakeland night, with A.J. Davis getting chunks of big yardage. And, of course, he had the kickoff return for a touchdown, but then Xavier Allen cleaning up down in the red zone and punching it in 5 times, as they've really, over the last few weeks, become quite the 1-2 punch.
Oh, he called for a fair catch.
And he touched it. Otherwise, they're throwing a penalty flag, but he touched it and went out of bounds or on the 26-yard line. So a very effective kick there directional kick by Mackenzie McDonald.
Wow, they're going deep in some stats there.
That's NFL, I'm sure. There's some crazy, as Bob's just telling us, the most touchdowns scored in an NFL game was 6 by Gale Sayers back in the day. But there's some crazy high school stats out there. I'd be curious to know what the state of Florida record is for the most touchdowns scored in a playoff game. That would be a great stat to know. Let's see if our crack statistician can come up with that one.
They're going to have to dig a little bit for that one, I think. Under 12 minutes here in the final quarter of play. Dreadnaughts 48-19. Ola Dukin now going to have to really look downfield, scrambling, and look at Matt Kramer's going to throw him down. What a sack by Matt Kramer that time, and no getting away, nowhere to hide.
So Matt Kramer showed some nice sportsmanship there, helping
Ouch.
the quarterback up from the ground.
The Dragon Slayer.
Ola Dukin, yes.
Fishing
for dragons.
He hooked the Dragon.
Matt Kramer making a very impressive bid for the defensive player of the game.
Yeah, I was just thinking
tonight.
that. One of the keys to the game on defense is turning his key and opening the door and walking through. Ola Dukin now way back, 2nd and 26 after a huge loss by Matt Kramer, and then hit and dropped by, is that Marquise?
Marquise Green, the converted offensive lineman, now starting as a defensive tackle for Lake. He's been a revelation here in the second half of the season.
No gain, loses actually a few more yards. Not good for the Dragons.
The Griffins are going to have to punt from their end zone here if they're not careful.
I keep calling them the Dragons, the Griffins.
The Griffins are Dragons.
Yeah, same.
Now Lakeland, they're up 29, so Tim, if they get one more touchdown here, it's going to be a running clock the rest of the way. But Kathleen also, they just came up in the Kathleen game. Plant has scored against 28-8 Plant.
Starting to pull away.
So it's certainly looking like we're going to have a Plant-Lakeland showdown next week in the regional semifinals.
Plant's got a huge following, Jeff, as well. That game will be well represented on both sides.
My Uncle David just texted me and said he heard your request for the name. He said Ocho Cinco.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Chad Johnson's nickname.
Yeah.
Actually, for a while, his last name.
Yeah, that's right.
Tariq Young is at the Griffins' 40-yard line. We were getting the ball in excellent field position.
There's
and
a
the Griffin
Griffin
player is late coming on the field, but he gets there in time.
Quick punt. Just let that one go. That's still going to be great field position for the Knots.
Charlie Hall reminding us, Tim, that Raydon Dwight scored 5 touchdowns against Haines City.
Uh-huh.
I do remember that. I think that was 2 years ago, I think. Here's us, call it a Raydon.
Knots with possession of the ball again. That defense has got to be getting wore out. The Griffins, and straight up the gut, number 41, fresh legs.
Irvin Michael. The powerful run right up the middle. Who do you want Emily to interview after the game? I'm thinking Xavier Allen. That might be the proverbial
9 yards by Irvin Michael.
AJ's had a heck of a game. We've interviewed him before. Yeah, we could kind of feature him as a 1-2 punch. Yeah, I think I'll tell her to do that.
Irvin Michael again with a nice cutback. He bounces off. Irvin Michael on his feet near the 10-yard line, down to the 5 to 4. That's kind of been the theme tonight, is
Maybe we should interview the entire offensive line.
the Griffin pinball machine, and the Knots are racking up all kinds of high points on the game. First down, Knots. You know, pinball machine, Jeff, where we get all the bonus stuff and you hit all that's like we're getting all that good stuff tonight.
Actually, Michael David retexted me. I misread it. Instead of Ocho Cinco, he's saying Ouch-O Cinco.
Oucho Cinco.
Which actually is great because
like
he's
that
got the
better.
big physical
That's
bruising
good.
runs, and he scored 5 touchdowns.
Irvin Michael, touchdown Knots. It's the Irvin Michael show on that drive.
Wow, 35-point lead, so we'll have a running clock here the rest of the way. Irvin Michael, the senior running back, backup running back, getting a touchdown. I mean, let's put this in perspective, Tim. Sickles had only allowed 72 points all year, only 58 in regulation, in 10 ball games, and Lakeland has scored 55 points tonight.
Wow.
That's insane. That's almost, actually it's more insane than them pitching 7 shutouts this year.
Now I think we can say we feel pretty confident about the actual score in terms of winning the game, not just what the score is.
So what do you think, Tim? You like Ocho Cinco?
Ocho Cinco is great.
So I think, so you got another tweet here. Got a text from Nancy McCreevy. He says, I would call it nickel domination.
Ooh.
Very nice. So we have the Radon, Ocho Cinco, and nickel domination. Tim, what do you think? What's your pick?
I knew they wouldn't let me down. They're very creative.
How about 5 Alive? Isn't that a drink or a juice drink back in the day or something like that?
Maybe. Caught at the 20. The 25 losing yards, switching ground, and he goes down at the 15.
Nice tackle there by number 20.
You can't ask for a better result on a pooch lob. You don't expect to actually have him go backwards 15 yards.
So, Tim, since you asked for it, you have to decide what you're going to call that.
We'll announce it at the end of the game.
Yes. Still not too late. You can get some more.
Yeah, you can still pump it in. We got 5 minutes left.
Entries into this contest.
If anything pops in your head, we're looking for those creative name for 5 touchdown performance from Xavier Allen.
You can follow us on LHS Dreadnaughts on Twitter and feel free to tweet us or text Tim or I if you have our phone numbers, what you would call Xavier Allen's 5 touchdown performance. Want to give a shout out to Bob Parrish's parents, Don and Ann Parrish, watching in the beautiful metropolis of Plant City, Florida. Thank you for your support and loaning us your son every Friday night. Bob does a great job here as our sound engineer and technical director, I believe is what we call him.
Oladukin is just kind of can't do it himself and run out of options tonight.
I don't think
he doesn't have an answer for anything.
Anybody really anticipated this kind of a game tonight. You know, of course, me, the genius I am, said it was going to be a defensive, kind of a low-scoring game in the pregame show. And here we have 74 points scoring the game. But just a dominating performance by Lakeland. And really, it was a complete domination from offense, defense, special teams. Just a great job by Lakeland tonight. Complete team effort.
Well, every indicator would say that you would probably be right, Jeff, but certainly not the case. Nice pass to number 22. Good hard tackle.
Strike hit him in stride.
Clock just churning away now under 5 minutes. I think the Gryphons thought it was going to be a low-scoring game too, probably. That's what they were maybe hoping for, is to keep it close going into the 4th quarter. But their season will come to an end here at Bryant Stadium in the first round of the playoffs. Tip ball.
Where many seasons have come to an end. Yeah. Many team seasons have come to an end over the years. I saw a stat too. It was in the Ledger's preview of the game today, saying that I think in Coach Castle's career, he's something like either 18-5 or 20-5 in the playoffs against teams from Hillsborough County.
Of course, Coach Castle chasing number 400, and it won't be obviously achieved tonight, but If we keep
regular
going
season
deep
wins,
in
you
the
mean?
play, yeah, regular season wins, it won't happen. But as far as Oladukin getting free and nice cuts, you can see his talent. Escaping 2 or 3 tacklers and then finally running out of bounds. Yeah. Late flag.
What's that, for tapping him on the leg? I mean, come on. But needless to say, Tim, a very clean performance by Lakeland tonight. I would venture to say that this is probably the least they've been penalized in a game all year.
Wow.
So the national record in high school for running back, 10 touchdowns and 600 yards.
Good grief. A little bit of a mismatch, I think, probably. Was that an 8A team playing a 2A team? So on the 15-yard penalty, the Knots give them a little bit of hope to put some more points on the board anyways. Oladukin continues to fire to Carl Bonneau. Caught outside the 15-yard line. Clock's still on the move, though. Injury timeout.
You know, Tim, it's kind of interesting. I know the coaching staff is very concerned about this game tonight, talking to them, before the game and this week about what a tough matchup it would be. And my brother actually talked to one of the players on the team and got the impression that, that they were, also kind of, concerned about what a tough matchup this would be. So, needless to say, I don't think anybody really saw this coming. This 36-point demolition by the Dreadnaughts of the Gryphons.
Pride points right now for the Gryphons. Number 28 is going to step out of bounds at the 4. Quarterback, just watch him. He's elusive. He's just going to run this one himself. Touchdown, Oladukin. Not much of a consolation prize at the running clock. That may be it, Jeff Goddard. After the extra point,
yeah. Maybe a kickoff. And then, they do stop the clock after the extra point, I think, until the kickoff.
They need a holder. That'd be impressive if he could hold the ball and do the extra point himself. That'll be impressive. There you go. Oh. You won't see that often. Tipped.
You get the Lakeland player and the Griffin player over there going at it.
It was tipped.
You very rarely
through.
see two guys going at it past the uprights and the goalpost.
That's something you're not going to see every day. It almost looked like it hit someone's helmet and then bounced up and went through the goalpost. "81 points scored here tonight. They are keeping the clock running even after the extra point.
I didn't think they did that.
And that'll be all she wrote. In the books she goes. 55-26 your final score. That's 2 consecutive weeks that the opposing team has scored in the last minute or so just to
make the game
make it look
closer.
a little better, but the reality is 2 consecutive dominating performances.
As you see the final score there, Lakeland 55, Sickles 26. Friday Night Football presented tonight by Regal Lakeland. So for the second year in a row, Lakeland marches on to the second round of the playoffs, where they will most likely be playing Tampa Plant unless Kathleen puts on a furious fourth quarter rally. And we'll try to confirm this before we go off the air, but my understanding is that game will be here at Bryant Stadium next Friday night.
That would be wonderful.
So I have gotten confirmation the game will be here. According to Lakeland Athletic Director Justin Troller, the game would be here next Friday night against Kathleen R. Plant.
Very cool. Yeah.
That's great to get to have another home playoff game. Good crowd, get the crowd in your corner, and great for the team too in terms of the revenue it brings in for the program. That's also a plus.
I know Plant's got a lot of rich tradition and excellence as well, so I wouldn't doubt if they do a pretty good job of filling up most of the stands, even though they'll be traveling.
And Plant did beat us in the playoffs, I guess, what, 4, 5, 6 years ago. They beat us in maybe even a state semifinal game, I think. But I do remember that they beat us like 20-0, if I'm not mistaken.
So we start thinking about those awards that we like to just bestow upon the well-deserving not players for.
So you see Coach Castle out there at midfield with players from both teams, as it looks like they're about to maybe have a brief huddle or say the Lord's Prayer. You see Coach George Williams, their team chaplain, out there right in the middle of it all.
Our own Emily Dunson nearby, getting ready to pounce on a few players to bring us a...
I think we're going to hopefully have an interview with both running backs tonight. A dual interview for the dual threat, A.J. Davis and Xavier Allen.
There's Horse. I was waiting on it. They normally play it in the third quarter. Anchorette's down there. He got some funky dance to it. See George Williams there in the middle of the pile. And the team leaders. Nice job by the band tonight, and varsity cheerleaders. They also have the JV cheerleaders here tonight, and a good Lakeland crowd. Lakeland, thanks for coming out to support your Knots here at Bryant Stadium. Privileged again to see so many great high school football games and teams come into Bryant Stadium. Tough nut to crack. Few have been able to do it. But throw the coaching experience and the work ethic and the athletic training and the atmosphere, and it's you got to be darn near perfect. You know, we saw a bit of an anomaly, unusual team from down south come in and lay a pretty good lick into the Knots this year during the regular season. That was a bit of a surprise, but as Jeff and I kind of talked about, that loss and then the, kind of unusual loss and letting one kind of get away from them with the Bartow game, losing by a point, I think spurred this team on. I think gave them a renewed focus and sense that they may not have been playing up to their expectations and their abilities. And
from what several players have said since that Bartow game, and even the coaching staff after that game, it seems like the team came together and they've been much more focused in practice. They've had some really good practices, and it's showing as they are playing a much crisper brand and more disciplined and focused brand of football here over the last few weeks. And as we talked about before, it really seems like Lakeland is peaking at the right time and definitely playing their best football of the year as they are now making this run in the state playoffs.
To Jeff, they kind of had that unit as Emily scrambles to get a couple of the players. Certainly being as healthy as possible and not having so many players getting switched in and out at different positions is, I think, giving them some cohesiveness.
And also, let's not forget to talk about, as we mentioned it briefly in the broadcast, the quick and sudden impact that Marquise Green has had, switching over from the offensive line to the defensive line. And the offensive line really, hasn't missed a beat as guys have filled in for him in offense. But he's still contributing some on offense on the jumbo packages and some on those type of situations, still playing some of the offense. So he's doing double duty. And I don't know if I noticed him as much tonight, but in several of the games here, James Robinson's also playing double duty, playing some, on defense. So just complete team effort as you see the Lakeland cheerleader and some of the football players down there in front of the band doing the alma mater. That's nice.
I've always been one of those things I've been impressed with Coach Castle, getting to watch him for now, 20 years here, either on the radio or up in the webcast. Is his ability to take players at a key time when you might think, why is he doing that? Why would he take a Marquise Green and change him in mid-go like that? But he goes on some of those instincts and just has that ability to get the most out of his players. And
injuries are necessities, the mother of invention.
Sometimes it makes you do that, but he's able to craft. How do you do that to go? And I think he's able to craft some of those things in a way that some other coaches might not be able to see. And one of our favorite parts of the game, especially when we're on the winning end, is to look at stats. And I think we have some stats for you to look at the end of this game. So let's bring those up and we'll take a look at them. And there we go. Obviously the score.
So first down's not a huge difference. There's a lot of big plays in the game by Lakeland.
I'd say that second one's a pretty big difference, though, in the rushing category.
302 rushing yards.
And how much was gained on their first play of the game? 65 yards or 70
so
yards?
Half of their rushing yards were gained on the first play of the game. So once again, we said they were balanced, and you see that 132 rushing, 143 passing. So they got just a little bit less than their average on offense. They're averaging 311 yards on offense. We held them 275. But the big difference is against a defense that has pitched 7 shutouts this year. We scored 55 points, 450 total yards, only 7 penalties. So
that's great for us.
Still
Look
a
at
couple
that.
more than you would like, but much better than normal. And I don't know. I think that's the wrong stat there. Lakeland did not have 2 turnovers.
Yeah.
I don't think we had any turnovers.
But regardless, Sickles lost that battle.
And the Gryphons had, I think they only actually had 3 turnovers. I think that might be one more than they actually had. They had 2 or 3. I think Lakeland had 0.
Well, I tell you what, let's go down with Emily Dunson to talk to Xavier and A.J. Davis.
Okay, hey guys, I'm down here with 2 key players of this game, A.J. Davis and Xavier Allen, who did wonderful tonight. Xavier, talk to me a little bit about those 3 touchdowns and that one on the 4th down.
Well, I just felt like I had to keep going because we needed the W, so I didn't want to let my team down, so I kept going.
Absolutely. AJ, talk to me a little bit about how you were bouncing outside this game instead of taking your route up the middle.
We've been practicing on bouncing the ball outside all day in practice, so yeah, we've been working on it. They kept blitzing the inside, so it bounced it out.
Yeah, and tell me a little bit about that kickoff return.
Yeah, we also been practicing on that all day in practice, so we used to cut, we used to run up the middle, and all the players come across.
Yeah, that bye week was definitely helpful in practicing that, wasn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Xavier, you definitely grew as a player this game, and what did you prove to yourself?
I proved to myself that if I don't stop my feet, can't one man stop me.
All right, you did wonderful. AJ, great game. What's next?
Beat Plant.
All right, back up to you guys.
That's true. Xavier, of course, Emily cut him down a few touchdowns. He actually got 5 touchdowns, and we'll give our first award away tonight. And very creative for the Ocho Cinco. I think that was cool. That's one that stuck in our minds. So the old Ocho Cinco put up by Xavier Allen tonight, and he said, I kept my feet moving, which is what they've been working on him with, and not one man can get him down. So I think he did a good job.
I think it takes 3 or 4 guys to get big Xavier Allen down. And
I would say so.
So congrats to Uncle David. My uncle, David Randall, an alum of Lakeland High School class of 77, coming up with the Ocho Cinco to coin the phrase for Xavier Allen's impressive 5-touchdown performance. And another thing I thought was interesting about the interview there was A.J. Davis saying that something they've also been working on is bouncing outside. And he did a good job of doing that several times tonight to get some of his big runs.
Instruction's good, right? But you got to apply it. It sounds like both of those players taking it to heart, listening to the coaches, and applying it in game time situations, and it's coming up big. It's making a difference.
It's also very interesting that obviously the players are listening to the announcements of the score. The scores, they know that Plant was up big on Kathleen, so they're already starting to get focused and think about playing Plant next week here at Bryant
And they got to be
Stadium.
excited. Yeah, we're right back here with you a week from tonight, and which is always great for us. We love as many games as we can do it here at Bryant Stadium. Unfortunately, we can't have all of them here through the playoffs, but it's good to get the first couple in here. And it's
you never
gonna be
know.
a good one.
The way it falls, you could have them all here as possible.
That'd
Not
be nice.
likely, but possible.
Yeah, we would take anything we can get. So I know we got some other awards, some hardware to give out up here in the booth.
Yes, we're waiting for Emily to interview Coach Castle.
Yeah, and then we'll talk about the players of the game on offense and defense. And defense, there's definitely a couple. There were some of the key players were the shining stars, but I don't know if you have a clear winner there. Some that you want to.
You want to go offense or defense first?
Let's go defense first.
Okay, defense first. I mean, the Courier's Longs, I think we covered that one fumble, I think.
Matt, obviously.
Demari Mathis at the big interception in the end zone. But Matt Kramer, I thought played a heck of a game
consistently.
tonight. I think it had 2 sacks and was applying pressure and really harassing the Griffins quarterback tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we should give it to Matt Kramer for his strong performance at the defensive end position.
Great play by several of them, but I like that call. Matt Kramer is our defensive player of the game. He just, like you said, the little engine that could, never gave up on the motor and constantly chased quarterback around all night long and really made
Chris
him get out of got him out of his game plan.
Not soon forget Matt Kramer.
No, that's for sure, number 83. So
offense, Tim, I'll let you make that call.
Well, obviously, A.J. Davis had an incredible performance. I think with the run back, and I'll salt you a little bit. We'll wait as Emily Dunson has Coach Bill Castle down on the field. Go ahead, Emily.
Coach, first off, congratulations. What a great game. Now, Xavier Allen did a really wonderful job. Was putting him in or making his plays, was that a part of the game plan?
Well, he's been coming on here lately and doing a really good job for us. And not only is he running with a lot of power and everything, he's doing a good job blocking for us. So a lot of times, he's at the point of attack when AJ's running the ball. So very pleased with the way he's coming on and really played good, especially the last couple of games.
Absolutely, absolutely. Tell me a little bit about Davis and his performance.
That may have been his best game of the year. He came to play without a doubt, and I think he was 5 yards short of a 200-yard game, but definitely liked the way he was running tonight, and our offensive line gave him some room to get where he could get a little daylight to maneuver, and he just did a great job running, a lot of second effort.
Yes, sir. Now, Plant is a really talented team next week. What's the game plan?
We'll go to work on them in the morning, and really haven't seen a lot of film on them. I know that Plants traditionally they're very tough and solid program, and I know hopefully it'll be a great game next week.
Yes, sir. Great job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Enjoy your night. Back up to you guys.
Emily with Coach Bill Castle, proud of his players and touting his offensive line, is creating some of that space for A.J. Davis to run through, and certainly
and rightfully so. Great job by the offensive line.
Yeah, I think so as well. And we'd like to go ahead this time as Jeff kind of gave me the offensive player of the game. You can't have a Ocho Cinco and not give the offensive player of the game to someone that's, again, increasingly done a good job, especially in the last 2 games, really inserted himself as a power player and an important part of the core scoring unit. Xavier Allen wins the offensive player of the game, which frees up, of course, Jeff, you said special teams, I think, was well stated. Go ahead and share that with us.
It's got to be A.J. Davis, as he really got the momentum back on Lakeland's side after the Gryphons had took the 3-0 lead on their first possession of the game, got the field goal, and then boom, the next kickoff, A.J. Davis takes it 75 yards to the house, gets a special teams touchdown. I think it probably his first special teams touchdown of his career, I think, after scoring so many on offense, as a running back. But that really got them momentum for Lakeland, and they ended up scoring 27 unanswered points before the Gryphons got back on the scoreboard. And by that point, Lakeland was in control of the game. So special teams player of the game, A.J. Davis.
Very good. I think that's well earned from all the Lakeland players. And, again, back-to-back, it's hard for me to – we've had so many good seasons. But as far as where they were and kind of where they are now, Jeff, I just – really proud of them, again, playing as a team and a unit. Again, I can't look to one area where we're particularly maybe kicking tonight wasn't our strong point, but
punting specifically.
Yeah,
we need to find out what happened to Shashawn Stewart. We should have had Emily ask Coach Castle about that. I'm curious.
Which can come into play, when you have the close games in the playoffs.
Yeah, close game.
Yeah, those can be
not
issues.
Having a reliable punter.
You want
to. If Stewart's going to be out again next week, I'm sure they'll work with McDonald a lot in practice this week and get him more ready to go, I would imagine.
But overall, again, in control of this game, and we are, like you said, peaking at the right time and playing together as a team, most importantly. And tough to beat when the whole team's playing as a unit like that, and I think we're doing that now. So,
listen, you said that. We're definitely playing as a team. From my perspective, what we've seen happen this year, at the beginning of the year, it seemed like we were kind of more a collection of individuals. Lots of talent on the team, but a collection of individuals. And over the course of the year, and I think maybe there's 2 losses, especially the Bartow loss, kind of helped with this transformation. But over the course of the year, we've transformed from a collection of individuals, albeit a supremely talented collection of individuals, to now a team, a true team where we're playing as one, playing together and for each other. And as you've seen that happen, we've also cleaned up our performances. We're playing cleaner and crisper, fewer turnovers, fewer penalties, and as a result of those 2 things, Lakeland has turned in 2 dynamite back-to-back performances, a 35-13 victory over an undefeated Kathleen team, and then tonight you saw 55-26 over a very good 8-2 Sickles team that had pitched 7 shutouts. My friends, Lakeland is truly playing their best football of the year, and it's been a while since we've seen 2 performances back-to-back that have been that impressive by the Dreadnaughts, probably going back several years.
Yeah.
So you always, whatever sport you're coaching, you always want to be playing your best going into the playoffs. And clearly Lakeland is doing that. They're playing inspired football as a team, executing well on both sides of the ball. And if Lakeland continues to do that, we might see the first deep run in the playoffs for Lakeland in about 4 years.
Yeah, I think, Jeff, too, prior to the last 2 games, if you would have said, hey, we have a passing team come in, a quarterback that's going to make you run over, I think all of us would have been a little nervous on the defensive backside. But you know what? After the last 2 games, I feel pretty confident and comfortable. We've seen just blanketed coverage, and even the quarterback tonight, scrambling around. A lot of times he had to run because there was no one to throw it to, and unusual for him.
Got to give a
lot
of credit to Coach Boldini. It's how the defense prepared to deal with these offenses we faced. Overall, very disciplined effort by the defense, and that reminds me of our 3 keys to victory. One of them being, containing. How do you say his last name?
Oladukin.
It's getting late. Oladukin, yes, Oladukin. Containing him, not letting him be a bull tonight. That's a check. They did a good job of that. Definitely, kept him under wraps. Offensive line, excellent performance by them, opening up holes for Davis and Allen and giving. I don't think Hotchkiss got touched hardly all night.
Yeah.
Maybe once or twice, but give him plenty of time to throw.
Only 2 errant passes by him all night.
A couple passes that sailed on him, but great performance by him. And then definitely we certainly limited the turnovers and the penalties. So check on the keys to victory.
I think so.
Continue to do that. That will bode well also for the Dreadnaughts as we continue the playoffs. And next week, back here, same bat time, same bat channel. I should say same webcast channel.
That's it.
7:30 at Bryant Stadium as the Lakeland Dreadnaughts will be hosting Plant High School out of Tampa for a chance to go to the regional final. First time in, I believe, 4 years for Lakeland if we're able to make that happen.
That would be nice. And final score again, 55-26. I think that about says it all, Jeff. I think time to wrap things up
does.
here tonight.
The last thing we'll say once again, if you're out there and you enjoyed watching the webcast tonight and you own a business in the Lakeland area or the Central Florida area and you're interested in sponsoring the game next week, let me know. We'd love to hear from you, Jeff at lakelandfootball.com. And once again,
you may even get an interview with this guy at halftime if you sponsor
right.
us. So that's another opportunity.
And thanks again to Regal for being our game sponsor tonight. We appreciate it. They made it possible for us to bring you this playoff game. And, of course, as always, thank you to Agnini Family Dental who brought you the post-game show tonight, the great interviews with Xavier Allen, A.J. Davis, and Coach Castle. So thank you for joining us tonight on the Lakeland Football Webcast, and we'll look forward to seeing you again next Friday night as Lakeland marches on in the playoffs.
God bless and good night, everyone. We'll sign off for Tim Conti and Jeff Goddard and the rest of the crew. We thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week here on the live webcast. Thanks so much. Have a safe and healthy week.